Now see us and hear us. Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well, and welcome to my channel on this night of the Emerald Templar first ever playtest, which I'm super excited to have the homies helping me out with this to see how the game plays, what issues it has, and all that sort of stuff. I'll go into more detail about that in just a little bit, but first I want to welcome and praise and do right by the people who are joining me tonight. So please, if you can, go ahead and let us know who you are, how amazing you are, and if you do a great job and use your full chest, I'll give you an additional plot point for this sort of evening. So we're gonna start off with the bootylicious Logan.
All right, let's do this the right way, I guess. So I'm Logan, also known as DM underscore screening. The Logie Bat, the Dwarf Dad, you name it, I am it. Tonight, yeah, I got a Twitch channel and stuff too. I do Instagram and Twitter. But yeah, tonight, all that matters is that I'm playing Yashislav, the Goblin of the. Oh my gosh, I already forgot where I was from. The Unknown Amazons. That's how much Yashislav has traveled around. He has gone to the Unknown Amazons. He's gone some other places. He's gone to jail, and now he's here trying to do better with his life. Yeah. I don't know how much else I'm supposed to do, but that's about it. That's Yashislav.
I love it. Let's save the character introductions until the game. That way
you can.
No, you're fine. You're good. It was beautiful. 10-10. You did great. You did great. Okay. So going over
we
to
said with his whole chest that he was just.
That's true. That's very true. That's very true.
His plot point.
You get
here's
your plot point. There you go. So going over to Ronan Fox.
Hey, I'm Ronan. You can find me on all the socials, Instagram and Twitter at Ronan Fox. That's FAWKS. I am a Twitch streamer. I'm on a bit of a hiatus right now, but still doing that. And I'm a D&D content creator. I write about tabletop RPGs and DM stuff and build adventures and all that cool stuff. So that is me.
Fun fact: he was one of the first writers for Emerald Templars. It was like good stuff. And then going over to the Queen of Dice, the Eldritch God of Umbral Oculus, Valrook.
Hi everybody, Taryn Hackett, also known as Valrook across the socials. I'm a generally creative human tabletop performer and GM. I am also the creator behind Umbral Oculus Dice. And if you want to check out what I currently have in stock, you can go to kofi.com/UO_dice. You can also check me out on UO_dice on the Instagram. Other than that, at Valrook on the socials. I'm also a GM for a homebrew called Divinity Lost campaign that is running every other Sunday over on TIO. So check me out there as well. Every Monday on Vault, except this one also over on TIO, which is Fallout Tabletop RPG. And, starting in a couple weeks, we'll be, playing a Hexblood Druid in a D&D campaign over on DM Screamings channel. So you should check us out.
Yeah, I forgot it probably about the most important.
The most important thing is promoting this D&D campaign that we're starting in series. But yes, that is me. Go do my dice stuff.
Yeah, which more on that in a little bit. And then going over to the ever dreamy and sultry Casual.
Oh, hey, greetings. It's Jay Casual. You can find me on all social media at Just2Casual and Casual Creativity over at Twitch. I'm a variety streamer, content creator, and all-around entertainer, and working to add professional game designer to my resume with my Deep Breath anime-inspired RPG. I do all kinds of other creative things, and yeah, hold on, with my chest. Casually, of course.
Perfect. And then the Ride or Die homie, one of the best cosplayers out there, Utsuhime.
Stop it. Hi guys, I'm Utsuhime. You can find me on the socials, the social of the medias at Utsuhime Cosplay on Facebook, Instagram, here on Twitch where I'm starting to stream again. And also Brianna DeCosta on Twitter. And I'm involved in a lot of the TTRPG things. So if you want to see what I'm up to, definitely check it out. Most recently, as the lovely dice lady, the queen, Taryn, just mentioned that we're part of Ecrium Expeditions, which is DM'd by the amazing Logan, DM underscore screening, which you can go over to his channel and you'll see us do the thing as a group on Tuesday, the 14th, right? Do I
Correct.
have the wrong day? Okay.
No,
okay.
you're right, you're right.
Making sure I'm saying it correctly. And also tomorrow on the initiative order, you can catch me on
No, we have the night
Evermore
off.
Tales.
Oh, sorry.
Evermore
Thought it
Tales.
was, I thought today was Sunday.
No. Evermore Tales, which we have our next episode. It's the second to last. So definitely, if you haven't already, check out the YouTube for Initiative Order to catch up. It's an amazing story by Got DM, and it's been really awesome just to be a part of that. And of course, Vault will not be on this Monday, but the following, and that's on the Initiative Order, and that's Fallout themed campaign that we are a part of. And you can catch that at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. And Evermore is tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific time.
Perfect. And yes, my name is D'Angelo Murillo, and I am a tabletop RPG performer. I fight with all my heart and soul to bring more diversity and inclusion into our geeky community by creating projects and sort of events and everything for all these beautiful, wonderful people who are extremely talented, but unheard of, unpaid, and unseen. And I try my best to bring them to the spotlight and everything. So speaking of that, let me see if this works really quick, because I totally forgot to update the cast list. That'll work, I think. Yeah. That's fine.
Perfect.
Did we forget Ronan?
No, we said Ronan. Yeah.
I thought. Oh, I must have missed him. That's my bad.
He's okay. Most people ignore it when he talks too.
Oh my god.
He said he was mentioning how he streams and stuff, and
Oh, yep, you're right.
he's doing
Yeah, it
I
was
was
something about
genuine.
that.
I was genuinely concerned. That wasn't meant as a dig. I'm sorry, Ronan.
Whenever my light went out, it was the perfect time to make fun of it.
No, it's fine. It's all good. So, really quick, honoring our sponsor is our sponsor tonight is Umbral Oculus Dice, created by the very wonderful Val Rook. And Umbral Oculus is conjuring relics from beyond the veil for you to enjoy at your gaming table. She hand pours and polishes custom artisan dice. You can go to ko-fi.com/UO_dice to check out the shop. Check out all their sales and their wonderful dice, and they're amazing. She helps out with inclusion and diversity as well. So please, they're a good product, and a lot of people on channel absolutely love them. So tonight we'll be having a giveaway for, I believe it's a D20, right? Yes. So what you're going to do in chat is enter all caps ET. That's, Edward tilde.
On me.
Yeah. So just ET, and then into chat, and you'll be entered to win for a chance to win that Umbral Oculus D20. So it should be pretty cool. So speaking of Emerald Templars, that's the reason we're gathered here tonight. So Emerald Templars is my passion project. I believe I started the concept of Emerald Templars in about like 2010 with my homebrew sort of group, and then the first time it appeared on like a live stream was in 2016 when we did our first ever like charity event for my channel, raising money for Phoenix Children's Hospital. And it's been near and dear to my heart. I absolutely want to create this to be the tabletop RPG that I wish that I had when I was a little brown geek, growing up and everything like that. And I did not see my ancestors or heritage represented in like a good light or in a proper way and all that kind of stuff. And I know a lot of other people who are POC did not see that. So there are a lot of cultures that are in the Emerald Templars that are beautiful and wonderful, and I hope that other people really enjoy it. So to give you the pitch on Emerald Templars, it is a grim dark fantasy setting. It is using the Cortex Prime system. If you watch Into the Motherlands or even have seen Tales of Zadia, they both use the Cortex sort of Prime system. It's a very wonderful system. I absolutely love it. It's very easy to get into. I would not have started the tabletop RPG for Emerald Templars had it not existed, so it's made it extremely convenient and easy. And hopefully tonight will be a representation of sort of that and that flow and everything of the gameplay. But yeah, so to give you some lore, the world is Arafat, and long ago, and stories are always mixed about this, but there were the old gods. Now, no one knows where the old gods came from. Some people say they traveled the cosmos and landed on Arafat and toyed with what was here, and then created what are called the new gods, and created all these sort of creatures and realms and all these different things. But what is known is that the new gods one day revolted against their creators, which were the old gods, and they were not able to destroy them. So they locked them away in the different realms that the old gods had created themselves. And they protected the mortals and made sure that everything was good. But one day the new gods were called away for whatever reason, and into the cosmos they went. But before they left, they looked down to the mortal races and essentially said that, look, I know that it's scary and terrifying being here, and a lot of things can happen while we're gone, but I want to give you the blessing of magic and use this because it can bring you prosperity, it can bring you peace, it can bring you all these wondrous things, as long as you respect it and treat it with kindness and all that kind of stuff. And the mortal races were like, you got it, and then they left. Sure enough, they abused and used magic, and it became volatile and chaotic, and the world was torn like asunder essentially, from all of the crazy necromancy and demonology and elemancy and all this sort of stuff. Thankfully, at one time there was a group of concerned citizens who rose up to create the Emerald Templars, which was founded for the sole purpose of policing and making sure that magic was not used in chaotic means, and try to safeguard their sort of homeland. And one by one, they toppled the evil tyrants and put everyone into a place of peace and safeguarded everyone. After centuries upon centuries of peace, there was no longer anything you really sort of needed. They weren't really needed that much because there was peace across the land. But nowadays there are rumors from every corner of the known world that something weird is happening, and now the Emerald Templars are starting to raise their banners again, get everyone going and all that kind of stuff. And that's where our story will actually take place tonight. So one of the 6 known regions in the world is the Eternal Waja, which is a very beautiful desert sort of area that has wonderful sunsets and sunrises, a wonderful culture of people from all walks of life, and they're one of the wealthiest nations of all time. You guys know that there is a very huge civil war that's going on between the queen and the prince. The queen believes that necromancy should be full-blown embraced and accepted, and there should be no issues with raising the dead or anything like that. Meanwhile, the prince does not agree and actually sides with the Emerald Templars and wants more of a policing and safeguard for their people and everything, because they've seen firsthand how bad necromancy can get. So half the nation likes the Emerald Templars, the other nation does not. So thankfully, the place you guys are going to is actually called Basim, and it is a port city that is quite large. A lot of traders come here. A lot of people from different nations come to buy goods, sell goods, all that kind of stuff. And that you were actually given an assignment, specifically the Unknown Essence, who is the highest ranking member of the Emerald Templars within your group. And you were given the mission to go to one of the wealthiest benefactors the Emerald Templars has, because they requested an emergency summons, that they are having some issue that they need help with, and they don't care how experienced you guys are, they just need you guys to come and help out for whatever reason. And at this moment, you're on a boat traveling with Captain what was his name? Captain Musa. And as she's essentially bringing the ship into harbor and support and everything like that, you guys kind of see this huge bustling sort of port city with all these sort of merchants traveling everywhere. You can already smell different scents and everything. For some of you, it's a welcome sight as it's kind of home and everything. And yeah, so really quick, as you're on this ship and as the crewmen are going to about getting everything ready to settle and all that, let's go ahead and introduce your characters one by one. So we already know Yashislav. He's beautiful and great, good looking, a goblin. And
I
so
am.
so we're gonna go to the Unknown Essence.
I am simply the unknown. Once born in Oni, living in a land where death prevailed. My form is that of shadows and blood, forged together. I am a soldier of craft, a warlord of nature, but a mechanism of battle. My horns radiate the energy of my own suffering. I keep my mouth bound, lest my rage speak forth and spew hate. I wield with me my great weapon, the scarlet rose, the vines twined of blood forged in steel. Let it be the last thing you see before I send you back to your maker.
Perfect. And then going over to Griselda.
Well, I'm not quite as exuberant as that. Um, Griselda's a cat folk. Um, she lost her eye a while back. She doesn't even remember how anymore. She was really jacked up on the catnip at the time. But ever since she was a very young kitten, she's had horrible nightmares of dark creatures in the cosmos all wanting to invade and just constantly seeing everything torn asunder by dark magic and these things that are beyond description. So naturally, one takes the cardboard sign and sits on the street corners to purvey their message of truth to save all of you idiots who are too dumb to know what's coming right at you, even though I've told you over and whatever. You don't listen. Um, but that's Griselda, and then I managed to piss off the wrong people because they kicked me off of my street corner because they don't want people to know the truth. Because if everybody knows the truth, then they can't keep peddling their nonsense and telling you what to do. But that's how I ended up being a helper.
You do hear in the corner, nonsense, nonsense here, $5 bucks. Is So going over to Alatar.
Oh, hello. I am Alatar. I am a human man. I
So fantasy, I love it.
Yep, I love it. It's out of the realm of possibility. I am a black witch, and so what I do is, while Grizz tries to preach her shenanigans, I just am aware of it, and I shepherd people through sort of the cosmic forces and prevent, insanity and things like that.
Love it, love it. And then going to Reina.
So everyone would see Raina kind of like sitting down on the actual dock itself, and you see the two foxes next to her. She's about 5'8", very slender but curvaceous. She has a really pretty face, very fox-like, obviously, features because she's a kitsune. She has some of the traditional kitsune markings on her face. She has really bright green eyes. She's wearing makeup. She has really pretty orange, very distinct orangey red curls. And she does have her fox ears that are not hidden because she's very proud to be a kitsune. She has long red fingernails, and she's wearing what looks like to be almost like a traditional Japanese style kimono, but it's actually cut short. So it's showing some leg. And she's wearing like traditional wooden sandals, Japanese sandals as well. And But not with socks, because she again loves to show the skin. And she basically was born in Puya, and was eventually, her and her father Renard moved to Wedja, where she basically grew up. And he had fallen in love with a noble woman, and her family never approved, and it was like one of those beautiful Romeo and Juliet situations where they ran away together. But she didn't know that he was a nine-tailed fox spirit, and she actually caught him transforming one of the nights that basically of the full moon, where nine-tailed foxes usually transform, and then they come back the following day, like nothing happened. And she caught him, and she was felt betrayed, and she felt like what her father had said about him being untrustworthy was true, and that it was all a ruse. And so she basically left him, but he got revenge by basically stealing all of the family's wealth, and that was how they moved to Wedja. So basically, he basically raised her to not fall in love, to
Yeah.
not
Look
trust,
out for yourself.
look out for yourself, not trust the noble people because they're just greedy people who will tear your heart in two. And so she's learned to basically take advantage of that greed, and how lustful a lot of the men and sometimes women are. So she's used that to her advantage as she grew up. And she's actually older than the fellow members would expect. She does have two tails, which means that she's in her hundreds, but she looks like she's in her early 20s, like very young. But technically, in Fox Spirit years, she is still very young minded, but she's definitely no fool. If anything, there's a lot of fools who have fallen for her, hence why she is a part of this group to begin with. But we shall digress.
Perfect. So with the Emerald Templars, there's a few ways that they come about. One of which is by people just volunteering, which is a huge honorable service. They get like, student loan debt forgiveness and all that kind of stuff, and a bunch of other different ways. There's also that if you are caught doing a very serious crime, which Griselda, Reyna, and I believe Yashislav had experienced, they have the option of getting executed, having a limb chopped off, or what have you, or joining the Emerald Templars in order to avoid that sort of thing, and then serving the community essentially. Because if you're an Emerald Templar, you're all about helping the people and everything. So they decided to do the latter and everything. So for other ways, Alatar was a part of the Valley of the Seven Centaur Kings. And as he was in that sort of area, I believe it was you accidentally pissed off like a very high-ranking centaur. Is that right?
Yeah, I did a reading, and it was a tarot reading for one of the leaders, and he wasn't happy with his results. So, as opposed to dying by centaur hand, I ran and joined the Emerald Templars.
Do you know what his fortune was?
It was not good. It was not good, but the cards never lie. So
There you go. Perfect. You said he was going to die from heart disease, and sure enough, 2 days later, he died from heart disease.
I totally should have just given him my left damn foot.
Exactly. So then, and then the unknown essence. How did you join the Emerald Templars?
Hmm. I went around murdering everyone who battled me, and one enemy, a captain of sorts, decided that it'd be good to have me have some sort of structure, and took the relentless murder child that I was to join the army, to fight. And now, as long as I'm provided bodies to slay, they can use me as they wish.
Perfect. So, you guys pull into port now, and all the crewmen are getting their bridge and setting it over the side of the ship, and then putting it onto the dock as they're unloading cargo and crew. As Captain Musa goes my father always loved the Emerald Templars, and they literally saved our village from a group of necromancers. So I have a huge soft spot in my heart for you guys. So no need to pay me for transport. You guys are totally cool, and I hope you do well in your sort of journey. And Captain Musa is actually a Oni as well, who is purple of skin and has pretty prominent large horns. And she goes, now listen, this town Basum is very it's pretty dope. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of awesome merchants and peddlers here, but it can get kind of crazy if you're not familiar with this sort of area. With Griselda and Reyna, you definitely kind of are familiar with this area.
I'm very familiar.
I'm pretty familiar.
Perfect. And
Come on, I saw you in every street corner. Don't be modest.
Because I was doing my job.
Sure, let's just put it at that.
You're just mad. Why were you looking for a street corner? And she kind of grumbles as she's walking.
And so Captain Musa goes, listen, if you guys need a place to stay and you're low on dollar bucks, which dollar bucks is the currency for this world, by the way, and inspired by a very awesome kid show, and if you are low on dollar bucks, go ahead and find yourself at the Endless Wishes. It's a tavern that's has great drinks, great food, and everything like that. And just tell the barkeep that Captain Musa sent you and wants to cash in their favor, and she should give you free lodgings for your stay here. And I wish you good luck. And if do you guys have any questions before we part ways, as she kind of is tending to her crewmen and still has your attention. Yeah.
Wait, so I don't have to seduce someone in order to stay there? Oh, wow, that's a first. That's
Yeah, it
nice.
is. She might anyways.
Yeah, probably for their money.
She's like, well, you probably could make a few dollar bucks if you choose to use those skill sets here. And she goes, but I'll wish you would do. And good.
Let me ask you. Actually, let me ask you before I get off the boat. Do you collect fine statuettes? As I pull out a wooden carved statue of a cat.
It'd be better if it was a fox.
Oh, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
So, and you're trying to tempt them to actually like purchase your wooden statue.
Yes.
All right. So this is the first roll of the game. So,
Oh God, I don't know how. Okay.
so how this works on my end is that this is a easy challenge. So I'm gonna roll 3d6. Doo-doo-doo. So I'm gonna roll it right now, and my result was a 6 and a 3, which is gonna come out to a 9. With an effect die of 6, meaning that you need to assemble your dice pool. So you have to look at your character sheet and choose one attribute, one value, and then whatever other things you feel would be relevant to the situation, you know, your skill of whatever, to assemble it and then roll it and then choose the 2 highest dice, and then they have to get a 9 or higher in order to succeed.
Okay, so I could say attribute like oh, this is influence. That's a D4. That's a D4.
I'm cool with that. Yeah.
Well, and that's just the reality. Griselda also kind of has some snaggle teeth going. She's not very appealing. At the bottom of each of her statues is like a blurb of truth.
It's kind of like the in and out. There's like Christian like writing.
Yeah, it's just if you flip it upside down, there's truth written at the bottom. So I would like to use my truth.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. So then I do a skill or a trade skill or both.
You could do a skill and a trade skill if there's relevant dice within there.
If it's relevant, okay.
Because I don't think you're unless you have a way to justify it, I don't think your priest die would come into play here.
No.
Yeah, or any of that stuff. So yeah, you could go to your skill and then your trade skill. Yeah.
She's being kind of like, as she's doing it, she's kind of being like the pitiful little old lady, kind of being creepy though. Is she's like, do you? Can I use Daunt?
If you want to, yeah,
God.
go for it.
Okay. And then I am a carpenter.
Sure, it's fine craftsmanship. Yeah. So
yes. She learned that from her father growing up. Okay. Well, that's which ones do you need?
You need to beat a 9 or higher. So take the 2 highest dice that are on your in your
15.
dice pool. 15. Okay, yeah. So you succeed like full blown. So the other thing is your effect die. So
Yes.
one of the unused dice, whatever the highest die value is, that's going to be your effect die. So what is that?
Both of them are 2.
Okay. Perfect. Well, that it'll be the die type. So is it a D6 or
D6.
D6? Okay, yeah, that's good then. So you needed a 9 and you got a 15. So you have a heroic success because you beat the result by 5 or more. So it's a overwhelming victory. As she goes like, oh my God, how did you know I love carpentry? And like, I do love these wooden statues. As she goes like, I can give you $4 for it as
Absolutely. Here, take it. She's just kind of like, is just like, Griselda's maybe 5 foot tall. So she's like.
Perfect. And Onis are typically pretty tall. So, yeah. And she's wearing heels. So she'll definitely take the statue and be like, thank you. And she whips out, $4 and gives it to you. And be like, I hope you have a safe journey. If you need anything, we'll be here for a couple other days and hope to see you in town. As anyone else before we moved on to the scene. All right. So, getting to the harbor, you see a thriving marketplace as dollar bucks is exchanged rapidly for goods and services. There, you spot three soldiers that are dressed in bronze jewelry, more bronze jewelry than the normal, like, sort of port guards. One of which is a hound folk, looks like a boxer. And hound folk can be one of two ways. One, they can be like, full blown fur and have a humanoid sort of body and then a hound sort of like face, or they can be more humanoid and have like dog like features and all that kind of stuff. But this one is the former, where it's mostly like a dog with a humanoid sort of body. And they approach to you, and the largest one there, which is this hound folk, kind of bows to you and goes like, "My name is Captain Kasim, and I serve the Sultan Asma. I understand that you guys are the Emerald Templars, here to assist her in her time of need. Is that correct?"
Mm.
You're right, my
Perfect.
child.
So he goes, "Thank you. We appreciate you so much, and we're excited to have you here to our humble, city. Please follow me, and we'll get into the carriage to be able to head over to the palace." As he like turns, and this place is like thriving. It's a full blown like market with tons of people like going left, right, and center. And the crowd parts as they see the royal guards like guiding you guys. And a lot of people gasp and kind of murmur as they see your emblems of the Emerald Templars glistening, because this side of Awaja loves the Emerald Templars. Even more so as they look to Griselda, who has her golden eyes, which are a giveaway that she's from like Waja, like grew up and everything. Now, Reina, you've been in this area quite a bit, so they also notice you like, oh my god, Reina's back, and then they like see you as well, and they're like, holy shit, they're Emerald Templars, and they're pretty much excited to see you. Commoners have
And
a
when they
very
say that, she does actually show her chest because hers is a marking like above her left boob. So
yeah.
she's kind of like, yeah, I'm with the Templars now.
Perfect. Some like parents like cover their children's eyes, and then some husbands cover their wives' eyes, and some wives cover their husband's eyes and everything. So,
Yeah, no,
um,
Griselda is absolutely like, as people are like noticing her, she's like leaning over to people that she knows she spent 30 minutes berating with the truth. She's, I told you I was right. And she just kind of is going along, like hands up a little bit. Like,
perfect.
yeah.
So a lot of people respond
Oh,
positively to you
question
guys.
though. I
Go for it.
do have a question. Because of the fact that dogs don't usually like kitsune, is there an issue with hound folk? And
There might be a little bit of a like
because they give off a stench to dogs and
yeah.
hound folk
So
that's strong.
Kitsune are like not super popular, but they are known and are sort of around and everything. So especially that you're a part of the Emerald Templars there to assist Sultan. He's keeping it at bay. Like, he's like definitely like being professional about this. And he's just be like, make way. We're on important like royal business and everything. And the commoners like love you guys to the point where they literally like some merchants will like pull out mangoes and put it into your hand and be like, thank you for your service and helping out, like we appreciate you, and they give you bread and even a health potion, so you have one health potion in your inventory. um and after waiting in and out of the sort of crowd, you clamber into a very like nice carriage. It's like pretty dope. And it's pulled by crimson scorpions, which are huge beasts. uh and as the drivers get in the front, they simply like usher the scorpions to go, and they make their way through the crowd as everyone like fanfare as you guys get here. And the Captain Asim, he kind of looks to you guys and goes like, so how was your trip over here? Like, how was your journey? I hope it wasn't too bad.
Mm.
Cool.
Alatar's got a mouthful of mango. He's like, it wasn't bad. I've never been on the water before.
It was surprisingly pleasant. The seas were pretty calm, but I'm happy to be home, even with these people.
Muted.
Muted.
You're right. Thank you. I didn't like the water very much. It did not sit well with my stomach, all the rocking and rolling.
You're not supposed to drink it.
I heard an old tale that like if you drink while on a boat, it got rid of the wobbles.
No, I watched you do that, and you almost vomited on he who speaks two words.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know why
Sorry
he
about
only
that.
goes, mm. Like, it, are you not comfortable around us at this point? I mean, well, we haven't been together that long. But, I mean, I know I can be very friendly.
Yashislav puts his hand on Yui. The boss said that the grunt he doesn't talk because he thinks that it's best if he leads by example, and if we're kind of keeping a cool demeanor, then we are also giving off that kind of energy to the people that we're going to be working with, right, boss?
Mm.
Well, I've had many lovers who also were really silent until, we went to a special room and then they definitely talked a lot more.
Was it a lot of grunting there too?
Well, grunting and other noises, but
Mm.
I agree. I see. This is the first time me and Yui have agreed.
DM, is this one of those what do you call it? Oh my gosh, I just forgot the word.
Carriage?
Yeah, carriage. This is one of those carriages that has like extra amenities like drinks and like champagne and
Definitely
stuff
has
like that.
refreshments, yeah.
Yeah, it has. Okay, cool. I'm gonna get a drink because I'm gonna need it.
Hey, that's fine. He goes like,
Yeah,
please, like,
is just like
Oh,
fills up the pipe, grabs some whatever's there.
you grab
Search.
all the peanuts and the croutons and like all that, like the stuff. So he goes like, well, I'm glad to hear that your journey, like coming here, went well. Our land is very beautiful, and as you know, some of you know from Reina and Griselda and everything. But I do have to warn you that the storms are brewing. We have our summer like haboobs that are going to be rolling in, and I want to give you like a bit of a warning about that. So if you're out traveling, it could happen. If so, just get to the ground and try to wait it out. But it can be a little bit dangerous because there are a lot of undead that are out there that's been buried from centuries upon centuries of warfare, and that just get trapped underneath these sands. So I want to give you a bit of a warning about that. The other thing I would like to say is that we're about to meet the Sultan Azim. Now she is very friendly, very very beautiful, and she loves the Emerald Templars immensely. But there are a couple rules here. Now she has her royal guards with her. You cannot touch her under any circumstance or even get close to her. Yes, Griselda. Okay, okay. So and he goes, she's protected by our elite guards. There have been assassination attempts. There have been, various other oddities that have happened. So they're under strict rules that if anyone touches her without her permission, without giving consent, then they will be dropped on site, whether you be Emerald Templar or nobleman or otherwise. So just want to give you that sort of fair warning. And he goes like, do you have any questions?
I do now. Does she happen to collect things?
And he goes, yeah, she collects quite a bit of exotic pets and art and jewelry and all sorts of things. She's has an eye for beauty.
Okay.
Does she
noted.
currently have a harem?
She does. It's made up of various, beautiful creatures across the land and everything. Yeah.
Noted.
Does she have a notepad that we could borrow for? She motions over at Yui.
He goes like, absolutely. There are translators that are available if he knows ASL or WSL, and whatever you sort of need. The accommodations are no problem. Resources is not an issue here with the Sultan. She's one of the wealthiest in the land. And as this conversation is going, you guys can kind of look outside the windows and see that you're approaching the palace, which looks now the city itself at the port was already like decent, like it was very civilized and everything. But as you get further and further north towards the palace, you see more vegetation, you see more fountains, and everyone is in finer clothing and everything. And there's actually a line leading into the palace of people who are apparently waiting to have an audience with the Sultan, but you guys simply bypass that sort of line under royal business and make your way to the actual front as you make faces and stick out your tongue towards the commoners. Perfect. So Yes. And you guys come to a sort of a stop as the scorpions kind of like snap their little pincers and then like get treats from the other guards and everything like that. And he goes like, if do you have any other questions, as he like opens the door and helps you guys out of this carriage. And this is the finest you've been treated in your probably entire lives, as you've only seen the palace from the outside but never been inside of the this area. Yeah.
When does the sun set here?
And
At sunset.
he looks over
Approximately
and
how long from now?
he goes, you probably have about like maybe 3 hours or so before the sun will set. So you more than likely will have to stay in town. Um, and yeah,
Did
Okay.
you forget your parasol again?
Black is not conducive here.
Oh, but surprisingly, head coverings and everything else very
It's
very
helping.
convenient.
It's helping a little.
Yes.
What's this stuff? And he reaches up. I imagine there's just like sand everywhere.
And
That's
It's-
sand, buddy.
I don't like it.
Here, watch. And Griselda reaches down and picks up full watch, and just blows it at his face.
you're blinded and you're in pain.
It's coarse and rough. It gets everywhere.
Chrissy, stop
I
Keep a
hate it.
handful
teasing
in your
I
Yaya.
hate it.
Stop teasing Yaya. That's not nice.
Bored, and she puts a handful of it in her pocket.
Oh geez, that's gonna stop whatever the BBEG is for this adventure.
I like that
Pocket
idea.
sand.
I like that idea. I'm gonna adapt to my environment and do the same.
So
It's just like overflowing with
sand, like stop
Just-
that.
Give me my like little satchel. Just start shoveling sand there. It's all sand.
So, you guys are guided through the palace by the royal guards. A lot of them are men and women, very physically fit and everything. And you immediately are greeted with the sense of incredible like flowers, food, and all this different stuff that you've never even experienced before. As a harem of men and women are kind of like around a sort of garden, as there's musicians that are playing and everything. And then you do see the elite guards that are no joke. They're hound folk, cat folk, kitsune, oni, and all these different things that are there just eyeing you guys. Granted, not doing anything, but just in the vicinity, kind of in the shadows, just waiting and watching. As at the center of everything is the Sultan, who's an extremely beautiful woman, adorned in gems and jewels, unlike anything you've ever seen before, that literally like glitters and glistens. She herself is an actual oni that is that is pink in tone and everything. It has like two slight horns. And she is like currently paying attention to the harem and everything, when suddenly, their Captain Asim kind of goes up and goes, Sultan, and he like bows very deeply, and he goes, the Emerald Templars are now here to see you. And she immediately gets up and goes like, oh my gosh, it's wonderful to meet you. I've never actually met an Emerald Templar before. As she like claps her hands at excitement and rushes over to hug unknown essence, and who has like the highest ranking, because around the actual like Emerald Templar logo that's in plain sight, there are additional markings to show the rank and everything. And she goes, thank you for coming at my time of need. And the elite guards immediately get super tense as she's like willingly like touching you guys, as she goes to the unknown essence and gives a very deep hug. Do you respond at all?
Unknown Essence will hug and take the free hand that's not holding the weapon to embrace.
Okay, perfect. Do you pat? Because she hates patters.
Oh, it's just a normal squeezed hug. Like amount of pressure he applies about half as much.
Perfect. And she moves on and hugs every single one of you.
Raina
as-
definitely wants to make sure that hers lingers a little bit longer, and like it's very just.
Yeah, and Griselda's behind her going,
Like, be careful, be careful, be careful. Okay, perfect. So, thank you so much for the tip. Tonight we're not doing actually any game menus. Actually, I could probably wear a wig if you want me to wear a wig, because I see your dress and everything. But the any tips that are coming tonight will be distributed to the cast and everything. So, yeah, I'll get the wig. Thank you, Rainoc, for, was it Rainoc? Yeah, thank you, Rainoc, for
yes.
those tips. So the Sultan is in front of you, and she goes, "I have never met Emerald Templars before. Like, tell me, are you, as the stories tell and the legends tell, are you brave adventurers that have faced like extreme harm and danger?" As she looks extremely excited to see you guys.
Hmm.
Um,
In his words, that means yes.
We're everything you imagined and more. And she's really trying to like basically use like her just charming aura to just really just just lean hard into that whole
The
theory
hug,
that they're the best. Yeah.
Burke. So
we've definitely defied death.
so she goes, "Oh good, I can't believe that, like, you come in my darkest hour. I know I'm probably overreacting. That's what my advisors told me. I shouldn't use you guys as my personal messengers or anything, but I felt like it was really important because I reached out. By the way, just want to let you know, the quickest way to get someone, like, a message to someone, is via corgi. So there are, like, essentially magical corgis. Every time they wiggle their butt, they teleport 25 feet. So they simply just take the message and go wherever they need. So she goes, I usually have correspondence with my sister quite a few times, and she responds back, and we talk, like, just to keep up and keep attention. But recently she didn't attend. Did I name it? Fuzzy Bottom, yeah. She didn't attend Fuzzy Bottom's birthday, as she looks over and you see a very large hyena. It's probably about like 5 feet tall by, like, it looks like 500 pounds or so. And it's just like, drooling and kind of, playing with different balls and everything. And the harem is like intimidated of the hyena. She was like, she didn't go to Fuzzy Bottom's birthday, so clearly it's something must be going on. And I keep trying to message her and send her, things, and they're accepted. But every time I send a messenger out, they never come back. So I fear the worst. So my father always told me that if the Emerald Templars can solve any sort of issue, so therefore I wanted you guys to make sure that she's okay and everything's going well. And she's just too far right now for myself to go out, because there's a lot of politics and everything with being a royal subject and all that to do. As you see her clearly, like, hanging out with her harem, and outside there was a huge line of people waiting to see her. uh so she goes, I need you guys to travel through the desert to be able to go and check her out and everything. And as royal staff come with chairs and sort of sets up a table in front of you and immediately fills the table with food and drink and everything. And she goes, please tell me if anything's unacceptable, because I will get you something else. And yeah, and she waits for your guys' response.
Raina is definitely gonna look around. What are the dishes that are served right now?
There are
She's
various
very
dishes.
particular.
There are various dishes, yeah. So there are meat selections from, like, ribs from different creatures. There are vegetarian options, which are salads and fruits and everything. And there's also things marked as gluten-free for anyone who has celiac, as in this fantasy world. And yeah, so there's a lot of different options here.
Fish.
Gluten free. That's ridiculous. I'm vegan.
Yum, 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 yum.
That's the thing. Vegans. That's it. I'm gonna take ribs. I'm just gonna start.
Gnawing on them, yeah. Bird.
I'm
You wouldn't
grabbing
happen to
grabbing
be-
fish, a little bit of cheese, little like I grabbed like milk, but it's in a saucer, and I'm like,
You
Bird.
wouldn't happen to have udon, would you?
And she goes, absolutely. As she goes and like snaps her fingers to one of her staff members, and the staff member immediately darts off to go and, like, get it for you. And it only takes a few moments for them to come back with it. And she goes, whatever you need, I'm my resources are at your disposal. As she looks to the unknown essence and goes, is there anything I can get for you? Are you uncomfortable? Am I making you uncomfortable? As she's okay,
Hmm.
perfect.
he
As
doesn't have
He
many
doesn't
words.
talk much. Yeah.
Our proud leader stays focused.
It's okay.
His
No-
mind is always on the next step and the next mission. He's got to lead us and survive all of the treacherous adventures.
All right, let me put on this damn wig really quick. I don't even know how wigs are supposed to go, really. I think it'll be like this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Here we go.
Uh, Perfect.
Yes.
Oh, it's in my eyes. This is the worst.
Yeah, it's the worst. It really
Hold
is.
on.
I have no
You
idea.
look like an e-girl.
Okay, really quick. Perfect. There we go. Oh God.
Now say ooh
I
woo.
ooh.
Can I get an ara?
Can I do? Yeah, there you go. Like ooh. Think. So all right, perfect. So she goes. Thank you again so much for taking up this mission. I am like sick with worry about Farah. She is also a sultan in her lands, but unfortunately, when my father divvied up the lands between me and my two sisters, uh I got the fairer share of the land, and my two sisters got a little bit lesser. Farah got the worst, part of land, as there are a lot of undead around, and there's a lot of different issues with that place. But still, she's a very strong sultan. But I have to warn you, she can be a little bit abrasive, is a word I would use. So try your best to be nice to her, because she can be mean to new people, and 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 yeah, as you guys are sort of eating and sort of drinking and all that kind of stuff, and
As I'm eating, I want to, and you can just, I don't, there's no mechanic for this, I'm sure, but like you can just tell me if it's good, bad, or neutral. But I'd like to just kind of take out my deck of cards and just flip the top one and for, what's her name? The woman we're going to be looking for, just to kind
Farah,
of get
a Sultan
yeah,
Farah,
Farah.
yeah.
Yeah, just to kind of get a feel of what the cards say, as far
Yeah,
as
go ahead
her
and
fate.
do it. I would say so. Assemble your dice pool. So it could
Okay.
be intelligence or intellect.
Intelligence.
Yeah, and then whatever
Truth.
your truth, intellect, truth. God, this wig.
Uh-huh.
So, so intellect, and then truth. Whatever sort of assets you have that would come into play here. So you could use your actual Black Witch die of a
Okay.
1d8, yeah, and then whatever other things, and assemble your dice pool. And then I will go ahead and assemble mine. We're gonna say this one's a little bit more difficult for some unknown reason.
Let me see if
Oh, that's not that bad. All right, it's a 9 that you need to beat.
trying to see if there's any skill that would work.
Raynock, thank you so much for donating 30.
I'm
Hope
gonna-
you enjoyed.
I'm gonna add a d6 for empathy from skill because that's what I kind of use to.
Sure.
That's the energy I use to put in the cards. 15.
15 will absolutely succeed. Same as Griselda's roll, you have a heroic success because you only needed a 9 and you got a 15. So you see beyond the veil and actually can get visions of something going wrong. Like apparently there is something, like your mind zooms across the desert. You can see various undead that are inside, like buried up beneath the sands, like tons of that are still wriggling and all that kind of stuff. And your mind zooms all the way to this foreign land that you've never seen before, but now you can see it as clear as day. That looks like kind of like a little bit ruinous, in not as good a shape as Sultan Azim's palace is. And in there, you feel a lot of grief and a lot of woe and a lot of misery. There's something not right here, and it's abnormal. It's not just emotional sort of grief. It's mystical, magical for whatever reason. And your mind zooms back as you're at the dinner table, as you're pulling the cards out. And yeah.
I will kind of relay some of that message to Tui.
Okay. You lean over as the unknown essence is eating a slice of pizza. Just kidding. Whatever you want to do.
Only sugar.
Only sugar. Perfect. Got it. Cheesecake, another slice. Yeah.
I don't think it's good. It seems bad energy, and maybe something more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Good talk. Good talk. Just so you know. I'm just here to read the cards.
So the Sultan, as she's like stuffing her face with tons of like food and everything like that, and yet has an immaculate body. Like, where does it go, really?
Like Selena, like stat, just like eats pizza and drinks Coke all day and is still just like.
Yep, exactly. Like Greek goddess stature. So she goes, I have to admit something, and I'm so sorry about this. Please don't hate me. But I arranged to have hyenas to transport you guys to my sister's palace, but they're not going to be ready until tomorrow morning. So you will have to stay within town. Unfortunately, I'm having guests over, and they're filling all of my guest rooms here, so you can't stay in the palace itself. Otherwise, I would have like absolutely made a room for you guys to stay here. So you will have to stay sort of in town. To help out, I have like $20 bucks to sort of give you to stay in town if you need to. There's a lot of different establishments that you can have to stay for the night and everything. And I'm sure this is all blown out of proportion and everything's fine, but I just cannot sleep at night unless I know that she's okay. And
I totally understand. I am the oldest of a litter of 6. I completely get it. I'm actually our accountant. I will hold on to those funds to help us make sure we have lodging for the night.
And in essence, will like interrupt moving into the way to take the money.
okay, perfect. So she'll look and see the rank and be like, "Oh, okay," and she'll give you the $20 bucks as you have them. And she goes, "If you need anything else, please let me know. I'm at your disposal." And then you see some staff members come in and be like, "Sultan, I am so sorry to interrupt your dinner, but there are people they're waiting for you outside." And she goes, "Oh, of course, yes." As she gets up and she goes, "Well, feel free to finish up your food if you'd like to, and after that, I hope you have a wonderful journey, and please stay safe. As next time you come through, I will hold a banquet in your honor." And as she leaves, and her harem goes with her, and the musicians are like, "All right, let's stop playing," and then they like sort of like leave as well. As you anything you'd like to do here while you're at the table before?
What do the plates look like? Like how fancy of china are we talking about?
Oh, they're pretty fancy. They're
Okay.
they're like gilded with gold on the rim and everything.
And the silverware?
Same. It looks like pretty like bronze, like very shiny bronze. Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna
Like,
As you do that,
I'm gonna stack my plate up with ribs, and then I'm just gonna take it and put it right into my bag.
okay, perfect.
Essence
There
is
are
just staring at you. Just
I got second dinner, boss.
staff members that are still like in the vicinity, that are kind of like hustling and bustling around. So you aren't totally alone. Would you like to blatantly do this, or would you like to do like a stealth sort of like to
No, I'd like to do a roll, please.
roll? Okay, got it. Okay.
Okay.
So assemble your dice pool. So this would be agility, in my opinion.
Okay, that's a D8.
Yep.
Can I use
And then
stealth or sneak as well?
correct. So that's one of your skills.
Okay.
Then you can go to your asset, which is a highwayman, to like use that aspect and everything. And then whatever your value you would say is, whether
You know
it's power or
I'm gonna use greed for that one.
well,
Can I
that
use-
was that's
Can I use vice, or do I have to use?
no,
I
you
have to
can't use your
that?
vice. Yeah, I can tap into your vice. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I will use what's my
So if I
my
think
truth, maybe?
uh
Yeah. Or no, duty. Duty. It would be duty.
sure, you can do duty. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I gotta steal from the rich. And then one from my trades, correct?
Yes, if there's anything in your trade skills that you feel is relevant.
And if there's not, don't use it. Oh, I have a criminal. I forgot I'm a criminal.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right.
So go to roll it, and I will roll mine. Everyone's distracted, so it's just gonna be an easy roll of 3d6. Which this one is going to be a 9 again. Wow. Okay. Cool. Wait, no, that's gonna be a 10. Sorry.
I got a 16.
Oh.
16. Jesus. All
Max,
right.
I rolled 3d8s and a d6.
Okay. Wow. So all right.
Wow.
I need to step up the difficulty for you guys. So that's one thing to note.
No, don't do that, please.
So as you do this, it's you're quick, you're nimble, you get what you need, or what you want rather. As you're like, what is this goblet? Is it like it's like, that's good metal? As you like pour out the contents and like stuff it in your like bag.
Bang it on the
Raina's
desk a
going to
couple
try
times.
to basically mesh in with the harem going inside of the building.
You like get up and leave as well as you
So
head over.
basically, just like blending in, just like to try
Perfect.
to basically look around and yeah.
Oh my god.
Huey's going to try and stop that.
Okay, so you're noticing
Right.
chaos erupt at your table as one person's putting stuff in like granted
I'm sneaking away from the table, mind you.
yeah,
So...
go to assemble your dice pool. That's fine.
Okay.
And then if we want to, so this will be a
Easy
contest.
already.
So yeah, exactly. So this is gonna be a contest because there's two characters who want opposite things. So Reina wants to leave the table sneakily, and the unknown essence wants to observe the table and make sure he understands and can, ultimately stop things. So assemble your dice pool. So one thing from each thing. So whichever attribute you feel is relevant, whichever value, and then go from there. And I think Reina is gonna act first because she wanted to go first. So then you'll roll your dice pool.
Okay. It's 17.
Jesus. Okay. And you're only gonna pick the two highest dice and add them together.
Oh, the 2?
Yeah, two highest
Okay.
dice.
So that's that's 13.
13? Okay. Damn, that's still so high. Oh my god. All right. And then essence,
11.
11. So in this point, you can do a couple things.
Now I did get a 1, so that does present a hitch.
Correct.
Like there was
so,
one that I rolled, but
So when a hitch is involved, that means you can use your plot point to activate it if you'd like. So on the like cheat sheet I sent you, it has like what you can do with that kind of stuff. So one of the things that you can do, essence, is you can either give her stress by like chastising her or whatever, be like get back here, like don't you dare move, like I'll activate this rune, and you can give her like anxiety as like a stress or whatever, which would step it up by 1. Or you can choose to increase your dice pool by adding another die to your results. So instead of taking the 2 highest, you can add another die and make it the 3 highest and add them together to try to succeed. Or you can simply take an L and you can be like, I'm going to give up, but which means that you don't take stress, but you also get a plot point. But Reina gets to narrative control over the scene.
Yeah, no. She can take narrative control. Essence is too distracted dealing with the thief.
Okay, so perfect.
Okay.
So yeah, so what'll happen is Reina wins. So Essence, because you took an L, you get a plot point, and you don't take any stress because you willingly sort of gave up. And then you start to notice like, wait, wasn't there more silverware and like goblets around this table? Granted, you didn't see Yashislav do anything, but it's suspicious. So Reina, you're able to, with that roll, you definitely like succeed, and you are able to sneak with the actual harem and go with them as they're all talking. And Griselda, do you want to do anything?
Yeah, no, I am just taking one of the little bottles of milk and putting one of my statues in its place and putting the bottle in my bag.
Okay.
That's all. That's
So-
all I. Yeah, I'm making a trade. I'm not steal. Like, as she's looking at Essence. Look, I'm making a fair sale. That's not. That's for later. It's for my brittle bones. Do you want your poor, you know, pawn? What you want to call us? I got brittle bones. I gotta take care of myself. And she's like scooching off to the side.
Do you do anything to stop her, or are you gonna let it happen?
Essence is going to just chill for a moment.
Okay, perfect. So the staff members are like kind of like, all right, thank you so much for coming to dinner with the Sultan. We're gonna go ahead and like escort you guys out now. That way you can go and get some rest, and then arrive here tomorrow, and we'll go ahead and have the hyenas like ready for you as they like begin to like guide you out. So Reina, you are walking down the hall with all the harem as you see one of the matron sort of mothers are like, all right, guys, you guys need to take a shower. We need to, rub you guys with oil. We need to get you ready for these guests because there's a huge like party happening tonight. And so make sure, like, if you do well, whoever gets the most clients is gonna get the most dollar bucks. So you guys work really hard. As everyone's like, let's make money. As in the back, Reina's like, yeah, let's do it, guys. As yeah. So
good luck, everyone. This should be fun.
as they kind of like, yeah, that good, you too, as they look to you, and then they notice that your clothes are different from theirs, and you have an Emerald Templar symbol on your like sort of chest, and they're like, are you supposed to be here? As some of the so for you guys at the Unknown Essence, you guys are being escorted to the sort of like lobby and exiting area. When you do notice you're missing one other person from your actual
What? At that
Too
point,
quiet.
What is the range of the symbol I have?
It's essentially infinite. It's like 70 or not 70 feet. So it's pretty much infinite. Yeah.
So when I notice that Rain is not around, Essence will just simply look at everyone and then just softly, Rain, which triggers the symbol when I speak because the brand is on my tongue.
So yes, so all the way from in the harem as everyone's like getting undressed and getting ready to like go into the showers and everything like that. Like I don't think you're supposed to be here. As you feel your tattoo on your chest begin to illuminate and kind of burn, as you even hear the sounds of Essence's voice in your sort of head, as everything gets kind of foggy and sort of weird. If you can resist this,
I'll be back. Yeah, I'll be back. And
you're
then
like,
and then all of a sudden Reina just basically just like kind of like walking backwards and then like running hastily to go back
perfect. So
to
every
where
step you
everyone
take,
else is.
yeah, every step you take backwards, it gets less and less painful and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
you kind of like subconsciously know exactly where he is, due to your symbol and everything. So you kind of like backtrack, and the guests are like, "Oh, I'm so sorry you got lost. Like, let's go ahead and guide you out." As you see everyone now, as you guys are kind of in the front yard, as the wagon is like the carriage is still there, being like, "All right, you guys can come on in. We'll take you to the city, and then we'll drop you off and all that." And
And then Reina bends down and whispers to one of her little foxes, and then Yui will feel like something hit the back of his head.
look at her in a violent motion or just like a pat.
No, like as in like something was thrown to hit him, but it's
Oh,
like
okay, okay.
it's just like a pebble or something. It's like whatever was like on the ground to like toss at him.
Perfect. All right. So we're gonna say, well, it's not you that's doing it. It's one of your foxes, right?
Yeah, it's one of my foxes.
Okay. That'll be a little bit. Oh yeah, I'll do
Because
it then.
I can have my as a beastmaster, I can basically command my
Them to
beasts
do stuff.
to do things for me.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and roll this. So I roll the dice pool for the fox, like throwing this pebble like at you and everything. So it got an 11 for its actual like thing. Now she's not looking to do harm to you.
No,
It's
not
just
harm.
that
It's just
yeah.
to basically be like meanie. Like that's just her being, annoying as she usually is.
So go ahead and assemble your dice pool on how you want to try to sort of either if you, I would say you could do it one or two ways. You need to perceive that this is happening. So I would do awareness maybe or whatever, like to build that. And if you're able to beat this dice roll, you can also rope it into narratively dodging out of the way, catching it, whatever you want to do. Yeah.
No, I don't dodge.
You let it happen. Okay, perfect.
I'm
So
strong enough to just take a hit. I want to tank it if possible.
that's fine. So
Just
we're gonna
flex.
we're gonna say you take an L, so that's another plot point that you're gonna accumulate. And as you feel a small pebble like hit you in the sort of back of the head, and the fox immediately like darts back to Reina before you're able to see. If you just feel a pebble hit you.
Mm-hmm. And just while I'm holding my weapon, the anger pushes the blade down into the ground by a whole foot, and it starts to heat up ever so slightly.
Glass is made before your eyes as it.
And then
It's,
removes it and starts walking.
okay, perfect.
So
So
Zelda will go where this glass was made, and because she's seen this before, and she's like kind of digging around it and pulling the glass and taking this like little
Oh my god.
artwork out.
you do
with
so.
with the intent to
We
sell
make
it.
use of everything.
You're like, hell yeah. So just a little bit of knowledge. Captain Musa, who brought you here, had told you that there's the Endless Wishes. That is the
yeah.
tavern that you guys could stay in if you'd like to.
Mhm.
By telling the tavern keep about that you're friends with her essentially. So
We're
if
gonna
you'd
drive
like
to town.
Yep. So the carriage, you load up into there, you take whatever refreshments, and then you head back to town as they drop you off. And they're like, "Bye, see you tomorrow." And then you are now in the middle of town. That's like it's now about pretty much sunset as everyone's like getting ready for like the nighttime activities. It's still lively here. As there's like a song and dance and everything. And sure enough, in bright arcane letters, you do see the Endless Wishes. As it seems to be a brothel, as there's a lot of men and women outside trying to tempt merchants and travelers to like come in and everything. And yeah.
In essence, we'll just point the butt of the sword towards the building. And start walking.
Yes, I see that. Is that where we're going?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a lively place.
Walking like right beside him.
As you do see, there's like various, you know, people of this sort of like staff members of this establishment, we'll say, as they like try to tempt you guys, and especially
Already going in.
Hi, Cookie. Hi, Dolce.
they're like, "Hey, Raina, how's it going?" It's your friend Cinnamon. As as you definitely see that it's another like satyr that's there, and they're like, "We haven't seen you in forever. We thought you died. Is everything okay?"
Oh, you know me. I can't die that easily. But I'm now hanging with a new crew. These are
Like,
my friends? Yes, friends. And
Is it like-
hey, you know, I remember that you have a thing for goblins. Yeah, it's a goblin.
as you see Cinnamon, who's a satyr, actually quite good looking, looks to you and be like, "Hey, big boy," as she looks over to Yashislav.
Yashislav is gonna look around and be like, hello. How's it hanging?
Cinnamon's one of the best girls here.
Griselda will come up to Raina. Hey,
Mhm.
I have an idea.
What is it? It's not to try to pawn off some of your stupid little statues again, is
Okay,
it?
they're not stupid. They're fucking works of art.
They're
No,
not
I want-
fox statues, so they suck.
Yeah, but that's because I like to draw things that are beautiful. So
Excuse me.
yeah, I'm kidding. We're friends here.
Hmm.
Let's pick on the human.
That'll be fun. Yeah, I think we should
Let's
do that.
let's get him like 5 lap dances and then book it.
I'm gonna
Oh,
pull
that's
on
great.
while they're having this conversation. I'm gonna pull on Alatar's like cloak or shirt or
It's a
kimono,
robe. Yeah.
robe.
Yeah.
So like, what are we supposed to do here other than like sleep? This doesn't seem like a sleep
I
place.
don't, the energy here reeks of desperation and.
While I'm doing
horror.
that, I'm making eye contact with Griselda and
She
Raina
is
to go get their
absolutely
thing
telling-
going.
Supposed
Okay.
to play patty cake? I don't know.
No, I'm doing that quietly.
Yui has already made their way to like the counter to speak with someone.
That's
Alright.
good.
There is a
Somebody
barkeep there.
needs to-
Speak.
Wait,
To
it's
grunt-
great
to
because if
grunt
he
at.
he only speaks when we're not around.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Very fluent. Old
Yes,
English.
as I was saying.
Yeah, exactly. Good day to you. Yeah.
Good day,
So-
sir.
Yes, you do see this this like catfolk that's there at the front, that's kind of like, you know, do the typical like tavern-esque stuff, washing mugs and the counter. Like, "Can I help you?"
And Yui's gonna try to do like sign language to see if the person knows sign language.
They do, as they respond back to you with their like, "Oh, got it. Can you hear me?" As she like motions to you. Okay.
Yeah.
So
and
perfect. And she goes like, "Yeah, what can I do for you?"
the captain, Munsa, said we'd have a room for us, the Emerald Templars.
And she goes, "Oh, she finally wants to cash in on that favor. All right, I'm a woman of my word." As she like goes over and turns around to various keys, they're kind of on there, and then she gets one of them and then hands it over to you. You're like, "This is a pretty large room. It should fit, you know, your needs. Now, this favor is probably gonna get you like maybe 2 days, at most, of like free lodgings and everything. The drinks and the food and the brothel, that stuff you're gonna have to pay for, but the lodgings, I can promise you that there will be safe, warm beds for you guys." And
Perfect. Thank you.
and she also responds like, anytime, anything you need. My name's Naif, so if you need anything, just let me know. As
Thank you.
as she tends to other people, sort of things, as you now have the keys in your hand. And yeah, and you see like a good deal of the brothel sort of going like, Raina's back, oh my gosh, as they kind of like invite like Raina in and like, wow, yeah, we haven't seen you forever, as yeah.
Who eventually make their way back to the group.
Raina, can we do the
Oh yeah. Okay, let me just take a second. And then Raina's gonna go and kind of like gather the girls of the some of the girls of the brothel who aren't already occupied. All right, so here's the deal. So I'm here with my friends, and
Griselda's pointing at him, by the way, like from standing behind him is like pointing at him.
and
Do I
you
notice
know
this at all?
they they don't know much about these parts. So why don't we show them a good time, huh, girls? And make sure it's one they'll never forget.
They consider it as they're like, is it for free or are we gonna get paid for this?
Well, let's just say you put it on my tab. Yeah.
All right, go ahead and assemble your dice pool.
Yes.
They are your-
I'm trying to persuade them and charm them into doing basically God knows what for free.
We do have $20 bucks.
Yeah, but no,
So,
yeah.
no,
You don't.
no.
We
Raina's
also have a
trying
lot
to-
of. We also have fine china and
Goblins.
and some silverware.
Hey, you guys want some good stuff from the palace?
I got it. I got
All
some
right,
fine
all right,
china
all right.
for you.
Look at this
Let's
piece of
see.
glass.
So so this is gonna be pretty easy for you because I got a 7 for my total,
Oh,
and I
okay.
also
That's
rolled a
a
hitch, so
nice
there is a
glass.
hitch you can activate if you'd like to do so.
Okay, let's see.
And Alatar, what are you doing right now?
Yeah.
So Alatar, what do I do here?
Is there a window spot, like a bar spot or a table spot near a window?
Absolutely.
'Cause-
This place is first floor, second floor, and there is a balcony that goes outside. So if you want to check,
Oh,
hang
that's
out
where I want
outside.
to be. That's where I want to be. Yeah, so I can watch the stars and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of
Okay.
setting up like a temporary altar on one of the tables. Like bones and some dice and things like that I'm setting up. So
Griselda is following and puts the glass statue on the table with your little altar.
perfect. It looks great. Thank you.
Yashislav finishes picking off a rib, puts the bone on the table as well.
So I got
does
a
that work?
11, by the way.
11. Yeah, you absolutely beat me.
Die is like a 4.
Okay. And what is the die type is D4 or is it a D6 or a D8?
It's a D8. It's D8.
D8. Okay, yeah. So you majorly succeed. So so not only did you succeed, but your effect die was quite large. So what happens is that some of the other like sort of girls and guys are all like oh yeah, if they're Raina's friend, they want to be shown a good time and they're not from here, let's show them a good time. Like, yeah, we'll do a like free dance and everything. And then sure enough, as Alatar, you'd be like reading or like maybe doing tarot reading or something like that and everything, and suddenly there are jiggling booties and all sort of bits that are
There
all
is
around
one
you.
girl who like there's some one girl and one guy who are kind of the known like witches of the brothel who are who noticed the book, so they're probably trying to like also to like this is this one is, we like him, so yeah, they're probably really like trying to get up in your face.
And there are hound folk,
Cinnamon
cat
is
folk,
all over Yaya because Cinnamon wants
Yep.
some of Yaya.
kitsunes and onis and humans and all that kind of stuff. All sorts of variety are all like surrounding you guys now as
Pouring
they're all
a
like
saucer of milk and just like drinking and laughing at them.
like
Oh wow! I did not see this in my future.
So this is going to be a contest. So they're going to try to seduce you. Same with you,
Oh.
Yashislav.
Great. Can I use
Why
something?
does this shit always happen to me?
Grizzy and Raina at it
Can I-
again.
Can I
So this is going to be one
Yep.
sec. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what you're going to do is you're going to assemble your dice pool, whether you want to like resist it or take the L and let them have narrative control or whatever. So these
Take
are
the L,
experience.
take the L. So
These-
you can get a pee-pee.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
But
your
it's-
duty.
Yeah, your duty to do this. Yeah.
I'm gonna look at Elatar and just go, it's a trap, and use my called shots. Get out of here! And use my called shots to give us both a D6 asset to our
Okay.
roll.
Perfect.
So you get an extra D6 there, Avatar.
Do your dice
Take-
pool. Yeah.
Oh my
Take,
god.
you can take it. I'm taking the L.
You're taking this. All right, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Perfect. So
It's a pretty great.
What do you got
plot point.
against Cinnamon?
Uh,
She's a really nice girl. I mean, she has hooves. I know it's different, but
not a hoof thing.
I will just say before the narrative control takes over,
We use
Alatar
love.
is significantly more interested in the male witch than the female witch.
perfect. So
what's his name? GM.
Oh my god. I don't know stripper
Ooh.
names. Cherry. We'll say Cherry.
Cherry,
Cherry.
cherry.
Cherry. The
Is it a red? Is it a red wizard? Is that
It
why?
is. It is. Yeah.
Oh
So
my
perfect.
god.
So Cherry.
Oh,
Who's,
the
who's-
other one is Star. By the
there you
way.
go. Star.
Oh,
Perfect.
that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
So Cherry heads over to you and just like simply just like completely just hangs over you like wow, what's that? That's really nice. You're really smart and good looking, and then just kind of like just full blown gives you the you're all about that experience. And so Yashislav,
Yeah, I probably didn't make it. I don't know. I'm running.
what did you get for your roll?
Running.
The max I got is a 6.
6? Okay, that works because I also got a 6. Did you roll any ones? Because if you roll any ones, you got to let me know because
No, I
I
did
also
not.
okay. I
roll
also
any
rolled a
ones.
1. So if you want to activate a hit or anything, you can do so. So you succeed in this. So how do you have narrative control over this? So how do you want this to play out? Do you want to lean into it, or do you want to kind of like resist it and be like, no, I'm not interested?
I'm gonna pull out like a little ring that's probably made out of like copper wire or some shit from my bag. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm Cinnamon. I'm sorry, I'm taken, and I'm gonna slip it on my finger and like just try to duck out of there.
And you see a flash of sadness as like wash over Cinnamon as she had apparently envisioned a life with you, and now that's kind of like taken aback. She realized
a whole
this
life,
is
a whole life. That
this
poor
is the
girl.
way
You're
of the
gonna
midnight
take her.
go.
You're gonna take her away, man.
That
Yeah,
poor
you're
girl.
gonna give her a better life. Yeah. And then she goes like, I understand, but if your will ever falters, you know where I'll be. As she then saunters, hip swinging, and they do not lie, as she walks away. So okay,
How about
At
Huey
this
would be
moment-
arriving finally.
Yeah,
As you
and,
see-
and Grizz is just sitting there laughing like with her milk, and she just like as Essence walks up, she's just like,
like so Essence, you come here and see various half naked bodies all over your party members. As you can what is your awareness die?
Oh, a D4. What?
A D4? Yeah. So you just kind of like taking the scene and you're like, all right, whatever. And yeah, how would you like to respond to the situation?
So S is gonna look at each one of them and just pull up the keys, dangle them.
as Grizz will walk up and
Yeah, you're right, boss. We probably should get to bed.
Thank you.
We're
I'll stay
gonna,
up a little bit longer.
their
me
room
and
for
Cherry
guests.
are
is-
gonna, me and Cherry are gonna watch the moon hit its zenith, and then I'll be just like an hour, like an hour.
And Cherry will definitely be like, if you read my fortune, I'll read your fortune. As like toys your
Which, to be honest, like Alatar does not know he's at a brothel right now. Like that's like he legitimately thinks
like,
there's
wow, you're
another
friendly.
Mowich in it.
Yeah, this is good customer service. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna say whatever you want to do for the night, you can absolutely sort of do. But then nighttime finally ends and daytime sort of begins, and we'll begin the next part of this sort of episode right after our break, which we're gonna take 10 minutes to just chill out, get a drink and bathroom break and all that kind of stuff, and we will see you guys soon. Yeah. see us and hear us. Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for bearing with us for our brief little break. This is Emerald Templars, a tabletop RPG that I have like created, and I'm going to have the Kickstarter probably in like mid October or so. This is a huge like feedback session to get like help to be able to get all this done. Thank you so much for the donations from Raynok and Ashley. You guys are amazing. Raynok had me wear the wig, and it's fabulous, and so it's really really good. So really quick before I get more into Emerald Templars, we're gonna go around the room and just kind of reset it so that way everyone knows who everyone is. So starting off with the ever good looking Logan.
We're only doing us. We're not doing characters, correct?
Correct. Only characters.
Clarification so I don't overstep. But hello, everybody. I'm Logan, also known as DM underscore screening, your humble internet friendly neighborhood. Yeah, I was going to switch it, but never mind. Friendly neighborhood dungeon master. I had a whole thing in my head, and then I always get tough. Words are hard. I do stuff on Twitch. Where I build my world of Ecrium, and then also because I forgot to last time, I am running a 5e campaign with everybody except D'Angelo, who is at this table, and Renee. Set in my world. It starts on September 14th on my Twitch channel, which is DM underscore screening. Yeah, I do stuff on Twitter occasionally. I do stuff on Instagrams as well, but mainly focusing on Twitter or Twitch for the time being, doing some stuff with my world. So yeah, come hang out.
Yeah. And then the creator of the amazing tabletop RPG Deep Breath, just too casual.
Oh my god, I'm just trying to keep it casual. What can I say? Oh hey, it's Jay Casual. You can find me all social media at just too casual and at Twitch Casual Creativity, where I am a variety streamer, content creator, and all-around storyteller entertainer who is working on my own tabletop RPG, the 5e compatible Deep Breath, inspired by anime, manga, and JRPG, everything we love about all that. And it's retrofuturistic, where it blends the world of ancient high fantasy with the modernization of urban science blend together, where the internet is just as problematic as a wizard with a spellbook and a dragon with a fire breath. And yeah, that's me, casually, of course.
Yeah. And then over to the Dice Queen, our sponsor, Valrook, aka Umbral Oculus Dice.
Hi, everybody. It's Taryn, also known as Valrook, and I am the creative behind Umbral Oculus Dice. You can go check out my dice shop and all of my dice things at ko-fi.com/UO underscore dice, as I do have merch and dice available. And if you want to follow just my creative ventures, I'm at Valrook across the socials, where I'm a tabletop RPG performer and a GM over on the Initiative Order.
Yeah. And
Your
then
goodness.
an amazing writer and very talented Twitch streamer, Ronan Fox.
Hey, yeah, I'm Ronan Fox, King of West Virginia, facilitator of the Fox Den. I am a.
Hey.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm your boss. I am TTRPG performer, D&D creator, or content creator. I didn't create D&D. And I am a writer, Twitch streamer, and yes, I will also be in Ecrium, which is Logan's game over on DM Screening, and I am in Terrence Farom's game, which is on the Initiative Order, and both of those are every other week, Sunday and Tuesday. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah. And then one of the greatest cosplayers alive, who's
Stop
done
that.
amazing
Stop it.
things, cosplay senpai, Utahime.
Oh, such high praise. I do not feel like I'm worthy, but I'm gonna just take it in and use my whole chest, as he likes to say.
Yes.
I'm Utahime. As he mentioned, I am a cosplayer and streamer and TTRPG performer. You can find me on the socials at Utahime Cosplay on Facebook, Instagram, here on Twitch, where I stream, and Brianna DeCosta on Twitter. And yes, on Monday evenings, I'm usually, and except not this Monday, but the following Monday, Vault, which is a Fallout themed TTRPG ran by Stiletto DM, and that's 6:30 p.m. Pacific time on every other Tuesday. starting September 14th, Ecrium Expeditions with DM underscore screening Logan, who is here with us. Really excited for that. Our whole group is going to be getting together for that particular day, and that's at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. And then every other Sunday, and this Sunday is the next episode of Evermore Tales. So please tune in 2 p.m. Pacific Time on the initiative order for that as well.
Yeah. And my name is D'Angelo Murillo. I am a tabletop RPG performer. This is my channel. Welcome. And I always create projects to help out our community with inclusion, diversity, and getting indie creators paid for their performances and all that. We do have a tip menu that's currently active with $60 in it. Thank you so much for the tips and everything. It'll be distributed to the cast evenly to say, thank you for everything. Right now we're playing Emerald Templars, which is my own tabletop RPG that I'll be like releasing later this year through like Kickstarter. So this is a playtest for that to figure out what works and what is kind of janky to get changed. That way we make it better, faster, stronger. And once the Kickstarter goes live, all the funds will be used to hire indie writers and artists to make this book really, really good. And something that I feel like a lot of our community would really appreciate because it'd be LGBTQ like positive. It'll be a lot of POC representation from different cultures that are usually under or misrepresented and everything. And it should be pretty fun. So to recap, this group are the Emerald Templars. Now they're a new group. Everyone except for the Unknown Essence has like recently joined the Emerald Templars and gone through training and everything, and are sort of like branded on their skin if they were a criminal and like came in here, or simply wear it with pride on their clothing and everything if they volunteered for this. And they safeguard their community in whatever way they can, typically against nefarious sort of forces. And they've been summoned by the Sultan, Azim, to be able to go and travel across the desert to visit her sister, which is Sultan Farah, to go and see if she's okay, because she's not responded to hail, she's not responded to anything, and her sister is getting very worried. So last night they spent a very spicy evening in the brothel, and they wake up refreshed. They feel good. They have no stress whatsoever right now, which may change in the future as they go and get breakfast and everything like that. And sure enough, there is another carriage waiting for them outside, beckoning them, being like, your hyenas are ready. Whenever you would like to, we can get into the carriage and head over to your mounts for this journey. As if there's anything else you'd like to do in the tavern or whatever, you can do so.
Just over breakfast, I would have relayed what I relayed to the rest of them. Just that it doesn't
The vision of that.
Yeah, it doesn't look exactly great.
So you spout out visions and everyone wants to listen to you. I spout out visions and I get kicked off. Whatever, it's fine. Yeah.
It may be an appearance thing.
What's that supposed to mean? Is like one of her teeth is sticking out this way.
You shouldn't have said that.
Just that you may
Lala,
not
you gotta
cast
be
the
careful
best-
with your words.
Right. No, you're perfect. Anyway, shall we go?
She kicks him in the shins and then starts walking out to the.
Yashislav?
I'm gonna take my plate that I've now cleaned of all the rib juices and gristle, and I'm gonna take it up to the counter. I'm just gonna push it because I imagine like I'm just not tall enough, so I'm gonna push it like, can you leave that for Cinnamon? Tell her I'm sorry for my actions last night. I was a bit unprepared, and then I'm just gonna turn around and dart out.
So Naif goes like, yeah, absolutely, give this to my sister, as she gets a plate and everything, and then gets it, and then she'll definitely look to you and be like, if you ever break my sister's heart, I'll murder you. And then
what did I try? I'm trying to be a good guy, guys.
And Raina goes up
Not in
and
this
goes
gentleman.
up to the bar area where Yaya's running away. You gotta take it easy on the new guy. Don't tease him so much.
perfect. So Do you all clamber into the carriage? All right, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you all get in there as Naif like eyes Yashislav like burns holes into the back of his head. As you guys get into the carriage, you head off down the road, and you make your way to the palace once more. As it's pretty early, you know, and they're like, "I'm sorry, the Sultan won't be able to see you right now. She usually sleeps till noon, and then she'll get up at that point." But the hyenas are here, as you see. There are 5 hyenas. 4 of them are normal size, and one of them is a bit smaller for Yashislav, as they also have the sidecar option if you'd like a sidecar. But they do have your mounts available for you guys.
Walk up to Griselda. I imagine you're not too thrilled to be on a puppy dog.
No.
Do
Not
you want to ride? You want to ride in the sidecar?
How ridiculous do the sidecars look?
You know, it's a hyena, and then right next to it is like a little like side cart, and then there's wheels underneath it that like kind of go through.
I feel like this is a really bad idea for the desert. I'm just gonna. As she starts to like walk up to the hyenas, are they like acting like kooky bananas?
They're trained, but they're also very excited, and then they're like, "Hey, sit down, be calm," and then but they're playful. They're not hostile. Yeah.
As she goes to like pet one,
You do so, and it doesn't react in a very bad way. In fact, what happens is that you give one like scratches or pets or whatever, and then all of them kind of hover around you to give all of them like scratches and pets. And then the guards are like, "No, don't! Oh!" And then yeah,
she is
you
now
know.
poofed. Her tail that is out from the back of her like really kind of shabby robes is poofed out. As she's like kind of petting them all.
See-
And the
see,
fur
Grace, you just
coming
need to
out
know
of
your
her
audience.
collar is just like poofed.
So if you want to, you can go ahead and try to get them to sort of back off in a way you want, like narratively, if you want control. Otherwise, anyone else can try to resolve this, or you can just simply
Yeah.
mount. Yeah.
Yui's gonna come over and try to just pick up Grizz while just looking at the hyenas and just pick Grizz out of the group.
Okay. Do you want to intimidate the hyenas, or do you simply want to use your strength to pick up Griselda? What is your major intention?
Ooh, my major intention is to intimidate the hyenas. I'm
Okay.
establishing control.
All right. Go ahead and assemble your dice pool and then roll for it. And then these are trained hyenas. We're gonna say.
He's just
but
a fluffy kitten now, just like
they're trained hyenas, but they love scratches. So I'm gonna increase the difficulty just slightly. Okay, that's not very high, so you should be pretty good. And I do have 1 hitch as well, but the total is gonna be 6.
17.
So, yeah, you succeed. As they're like, as they like back up a little bit.
Oh, with a D12 effect die.
Yeah, that scares them. They all pee as
Oh.
as
let's not talk about
oh.
dogs peeing.
oh, that's right, your work. So yeah, and then so at this point you do exactly as you request, as you have Griselda, like, and you're an Oni, so Oni are typically like taller than catfolk, and so you like pick her up no problem, and then like sort of drop her down or into the sidecar, whatever you want to do, and you mount these hyenas as they are, you know, fluffy and excited to see you, and but they maintain control with the reins and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. So with this, you make your way into the desert. As before you leave, one of the palace guards will be like, "Here's a map leading you to the actual desert. There are landmarks in the desert to make sure you don't lose your way. So just like follow those. Be careful because it looks like there might be a haboob that might be coming. If it is, just like take shelter wherever you can and just wait it out. And then afterwards, you know, you can go ahead and go. But for right now, it looks like if you go right now with any stops, you should be able to get there without any sort of issue." And any last questions before you leave Basum to head out?
Mm-mm.
All right.
Are
Let's get it
there
on the road.
rations for the hyenas?
Yes, there are pouches with large doggy treats, hyena treats, and
I do not want to be that ration.
And we assume that we have enough provisions for ourselves as well. correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be pretty much like a 2-day journey with hyenas to be able to head all the way over there. And there are like water canteens, rations for you guys, and rations for the actual mounts and everything, and the map. There's only one map though, so someone's got to carry it. I assume Yashislav. Okay, yeah, there you go. So as it's yeah.
Badly.
So you guys head off, riding into the desert as you see a whole lot of sand. Have you never seen sand before? Now you have a great giant view of it as there's a lot of, it's like in the morning still, so it's not that hot, but it does increase in temperature pretty drastically, as every so often you'll see some merchants that are traveling the opposite way, coming from somewhere and going past you guys and everything, so it's not like you guys are completely alone. As you guys travel, it gets to about like an hour or so as you're in this desert, as your mounts are strong and riding sturdy and everything, when suddenly two of you begin to feel or hear something try to enter your mind a little bit. That'll be Alatar and Griselda. So I need you guys to roll a dice pool to either let it to prevent it if you'd like to resist it, or you can take an L and let the voices or whatever's happening in. Okay, so Griselda's okay. So both of you allow it to happen as you're traveling down. You're seeing some animals like pass by and all around and everything like that. And suddenly you hear the voices from like the void essentially begin to enter your mind as you hear a feminine voice that seems abnormal call upon you and goes like, please, I need your help, come to me, as you feel a pulling to the west. Now your destination is to the north, where there's various landmarks, and out into the west there's no real marks over there, but there is something that your gut feeling is kind of pulling you towards a certain direction. And
I I just had a vision. We need to not be going this way. We need to go to the west.
Yeah, and
And you
it's
will
not a
kinda
vision
stop
so
our
much as
path.
it is a sound.
This is the one thing I'm good at.
She's not insane. I heard it as well.
I don't think you
He
either
might be
like that
insane.
very much. I mean, our mission is to go to meet with that Farah Sultan lady. So, I mean, and that's where our money lies. So, I don't really want to
I-
follow a vision that
To-
goes away from our
To be
income.
fair, our greater mission is to protect the citizens, and this woman just said she was in danger. We don't actually know if the other person is in danger.
Well, remember, I'm new here. That's not really my mission at all.
Sure, no, I get we all have our thing.
I'm just saying you gotta trust me on this. My gut's telling me.
and it seems like it's 80 feet away from you. So with the hyena mount, you could dart off into that sort of area and find that whatever's calling you and seeing what's going on, and dart back within eyesight and everything. Just so.
Let's just
It's not
10
far.
minutes. 10 minutes.
And Yui will just go that direction, leading the way.
Oh, I
Sure.
guess we're making a stop.
So
We're gonna
do,
stop every time we hear a voice. Is that the rule
I
now?
really hope not. That
Um,
wasn't what I signed up for. I already have this guy that when he calls my name, then all of a sudden the symbol starts glowing and hurting myself, you know? I don't like that.
You gotta listen to him. That's usually how that works. But that I don't know. What do I know?
So now we gotta listen to visions too? That's kind of a lot.
so you
it's infrequent.
you trot
For
over
you.
to where this gut feeling is taking you, as you two find it, there's a lot of sand here, and there are some objects that are sort of peeking out from the sand, as you can see everywhere, like either dead soldiers, some skeletons that are buried, some like broken down carts or whatever that's been covered by sand. So there's a lot of objects that are kind of poking out of the sand. So if you'd like to identify where the object is, go ahead and roll for it to do awareness and all that kind of stuff. For Griselda and Alatar, because you guys have that voice and that gut feeling, you're gonna go ahead and add a D8 to your dice pool.
Cool.
Well, since we're there, can we, since we're there as a group, can I give instructions to my foxes to assist them? Like I'm not
Sure.
trying to assist, but because of
And
the
you have
fact
two
that I want them to
foxes,
hurry
right?
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to hurry up, and they're D8, so I want.
Okay.
I wanted
So
to,
you'll
like,
add another D8 to your guys' dice pool.
Ah,
Yashislav?
I'm gonna stand up and I'm just check over there. That sand looks pretty high, and like that sand doesn't look so high. So like, go ahead, check, and I'll add another D6 to their dice pool as well.
Okay.
Do I get to
So,
throw in? Do I get to throw in my black maid? With geez, whatever. Black
your Black Witch. For this, yeah, no, we're gonna say that D8 previously was that. So yeah.
Okay.
Yuli is going to do nothing and wait.
Okay. The you need to beat a 6.
That's a 15 with an 8. A D8 is the effect die.
It's a
D8?
16
Okay.
with a D8 as the effect die.
Perfect. You find this no
Uh-huh.
problem at all. You guys are like, search partying it and everything like that, and you find it. There is a bracelet that is made out of bronze that has sapphires that are kind of embedded into it. It looks extremely like immaculate and everything. Griselda, do you grab it?
Doink.
Perfect. You grab it, and in the moment that you actually grab it from the actual sand, you feel it begin to vibrate and then fling away from your actual hand. And then up here in thin air is this woman that is about 8 feet tall. Now, Griselda and Reyna, you know this to be a djinn, essentially a genie. You know of them to be tricksters, and they love to play pranks, kind of like Monkey Paw. They give 3 wishes. As traditional and everything like that. And she kind of like twirls and appears before your eyes as Alatar, Yashislav, and in essence, you've never seen something like this before. As she goes,
My foxes do like what kind of like how dogs will turn around and then kick the sand up at it because of the fact that basically kitsune feel like they're the best tricksters around. So it's basically like the foxes giving a little like,
so perfect.
and then
So what
they
happens?
come back to where I'm at and they're like near me.
So what happens is that this genie, who's about 8 feet tall, like, and is floating and all that kind of stuff, like spins around into the air and goes like, "Oh my God, you're my saviors, think!" And then all of a sudden the sand gets into its like face and everything. It's like, you, as she like keeps her cool and goes, my former master like died here, and I've been stuck here in the sand for like 50 years. As she literally stretches before you and goes like, I can't believe you found me, like, oh my God. And she goes straight up to Griselda and like really closely and floats and goes like, you're my new master now. You get 3 wishes, but please don't make those wishes fast because I want to see like more of the world. And yeah.
Be careful what you
Okay.
wish for. Trust me on this one.
Okay. Well, so okay. Mm,
And Griselda and Reyna, you know that like there's been folk tales and actual genies that you've probably met before or seen or whatever, and people who have been bamboozled by genies. And you essentially know that the way to counter a djinn is to make your wishes for very small, very controlled, non-life changing things, and then just burn through it and live your normal life, because that's much better than taking a genie's like big grand offer or whatever. And yeah, but this genie seems to be very young. Her skin is glowing, very like vibrant violet and everything, as she has very long black hair, and she's floating and looks very hopeful to you guys. And she goes like, oh my God, you guys are Emerald Templars. And she kind of like shrinks back a little bit, and she goes like, I'm one of the good ones, please, peace. As she kind of freaks out a little bit. And
That's what
You
they
ain't
all
whole-
say.
Yuli holds their blade out, pointed towards the genie, like closely.
And she goes, no need for harm. My old master was an Oni. He was like really awesome before he died. And then as he goes like,
how
well,
did he die?
and he goes like, that unfortunately he was traveling alone. He wished to have like really strong armor and really strong weapons, but unfortunately he got super cocky and then went out into the middle of the desert by himself, got drunk, and the skeletons got him. And after he died, his equipment just melted into sand and
A
everything.
likely story, I'm sure.
And she goes, I'm not lying, I swear. As she like floats to you, and she goes, I can prove it. I can help you. And she goes, and she goes, think. Okay. Right now, you're about 2 minutes away from a huge sandstorm that's gonna roll in, and it's gonna be really bad. But I can help you. If you just use one of your wishes to allow me to help you, I can help you, and I'll make your whatever you're doing here easier. Because obviously you don't want to be in a sandstorm, right? Haboob is crazy. As she like is sweating.
Oh, so I just have to let you decide how to help us?
All you have to say is, I want a genie. I wish for you to help me with this sandstorm, and I'll help to protect you. And she goes, just trust in me, as Altar.
Can I, having grown up in the valley, tell a change in weather or sort of an elemental?
Sure, you do have
Yeah.
elemental sensitivity, so yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead and do awareness and whatever other relevant roles for your dice pool to look at
Okay.
the weather and to understand what's happening currently.
Does Yui know how to kill a genie?
I don't. I wouldn't say like offhand, but you can try to do a check to try to identify, like, you know.
Oh, I failed already.
Okay.
How desperate are
Can
you
I-
to leave this desert?
And she goes, extremely desperate. I've been staring at sand for 50 years, and like I've been trying to, like, you're the only people who have like a spiritual sensitivity, or like in any sort of like that can hear sort of spirits. So you're my only ticket out of here. Please, I beg of you. As Alatar.
I got a 9 and a hitch.
A 9 and a hitch? Okay. Okay, that works. So I got 4. So you do win, but I'm gonna activate your hitch to give you 1d your step up for your anxiety, for your stress. So
Okay.
you have 1d6 stress now. Because you realize that she's telling the truth. There's a huge haboob that's beginning to whirl up in front of your eyes as you look off into the distance. As you squint, you can now see a huge like wave of sand begin to bellow and get bigger and bigger as it's beginning to like sort of approach. You got 2 minutes before it's upon you, as she had said, but seems like she's telling the truth.
She's not lying. It's coming.
Do I let her help us?
What happens when you use all your wishes? Does like does she have to go to a new master or something?
She
How does
goes,
that work?
She goes, yes. What happens is that if you use up all the wishes, I go back into my bracelet, and someone else can pick me up and then use me, and it just continues to go for it. Just don't wish for more wishes, because that's how I got here. You'll be making wishes for the rest of your life if you choose that.
Well, the way I see it, we have 15 wishes right now.
But you want to be careful. I mean, I like to think that the kitsune are superior tricksters, but they're decent. So be careful what this genie says, because she'll
Gotta
trick
be
you.
specific.
Very specific. Like, I mean, it's all in the details.
Like,
I'm very torn because I feel bad for this thing. If I had to stare at this fucking desert every day for 50 years, I'd probably. No,
Yeah, it's a great view of the stars, but otherwise it's terrible.
of course you would say that. What do you think? What do I wish for?
Pointing at the haboob.
Just don't
Are you-
screw it up.
Okay, but do I give her the free reign that she asked for, or do I be specific?
Be
No, I would-
specific.
Yeah, very be.
I think if
yeah.
yeah,
Ah. Oh God, Griselda's not good at this.
Yeah, we got
As
like a
she's-
minute to brainstorm a wish here.
I would like. Oh shit.
And she goes to go like, all you have to say is, I wish for you to help me with the sandstorm and protect me from it, and I'll take care of the rest. I swear to you, just trust in me. As she's on her hands and knees.
No.
Granted, she's on her hands and knees, but she's 8 feet tall, so she's probably like your same height. So,
We just wish for her to dissipate the storm. But that doesn't actually affect us, but it still helps us.
It's true.
Or maybe dissipate the storm in a way where we aren't harmed.
could also say build a shelter for us to hide in while the storm
But then you got to worry
passes.
about, like, maybe we can't ever get out of that shelter. Like, maybe she
that
trusts
we
us.
that we can get in and out of when we
And
need to.
That's
And then-
secure, that won't have
has-
weak hinges and fall on top of us once we're
And
inside.
Yui-
and then
Yui's gonna come up.
Raina's just going on about all the details of this.
It
You
needs
move
indoor
front of him.
plumbing.
Onto Griz's shoulder, squat lightly, turn, you look them in their eyes, and just nod.
as a
Free
haboob is
reign?
now essentially upon you. Yeah.
Do I just say it?
Say it.
I wish for you to help us not die in this haboob and be harmed by this haboob or things in it.
And she goes, okay. As she then like uses her magic, as you see, it's a light green aura that erupts from her, and it creates essentially like an invisible barrier around you guys. That's about 30 feet wide, like circular. Starting, you are the center of this sphere, and around you, the haboob just come like just is so calm around you. Everywhere else, it's like blazing and everything like that. And she goes, see, I'm good. I'm helping. As she goes, uh-oh, as you look out, and everywhere outside of this sphere, sand is beginning to pick up and uncover sort of skeletons that have been buried for who knows how long. And they begin to clatter and clamber as they get out, and they're covered in partial armor and have bronze swords and all that kind of stuff. And she goes like, that's not my fault, you can't blame that on me. As she zooms into your bracelet. As
Oh, okay.
And they're
Really?
inside or outside of our little protection area?
they're currently outside of your protection area, but they do
Uh,
notice you. As you could go for it.
I immediately, seeing them start to move, I pull out the bottle of holy water that I have in my bag,
Mhm.
and I would like to use consecrated ground.
Sure. So you throw it. You
yeah.
throw it at the ground, just like below your feet.
It's like it says 30 by 30 area.
Okay, so it's a huge area. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just like slinging the she's panicking, slinging
Yeah.
this water.
It's
saying a
carbonated,
bunch
so you're
of
like
Holy water?
words.
Oh, that
Yeah.
burns. Ow.
She's slinging it all over the ground, and she's saying a bunch of words. And
That's gonna
she's-
make my hair frizzy.
and it's for the next 20 minutes. Any non-mortal creature that's will step down their highest die by 1 for every minute they stand in the area.
Okay, perfect.
Am I a
So-
mortal creature?
You are a mortal creature. Yeah.
Oh.
So you're fine. You're fine. You take no damage from holy water. You take no. Yeah, you know that.
Whew.
So you see these skeletons, and there's quite a few of them. There's like 12 of them that are kind of like around as they kind of clamber out of the sand. Finally, there's enough sand off of them to be able to move. As they head over to anything that has necromancy a part of it, has a very deliberate, like sort of purple aura around them, especially in the eye sockets and like kind of moving them around and everything as they begin to clamber towards you. So you guys sort of have the advantage because you are not hindered in this storm. So you can choose to do like essentially act first against these creatures.
So Uli's going to remove the clothing that they're wearing and take hold of their blade, as their body will start to emanate a sort of steam and heat, as I want to trigger my frenzy to start attacking immediately.
Okay. So you're yeah, okay, perfect. So that's gonna give me a 1d6 for my next dice pool, and you get 1 plot point. Yeah.
Solid.
What's battle ready?
Battle ready means that as is that your from your
The
nation
heritage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that just simply means that you're so used to combat and so used to all that kind of stuff that you're pretty much always ready to go for a
Okay.
fight. Like, yeah. And then okay, so we'll start off with the unknown essence. Do you want to actually go over to fight one of the skeletons, or do you want to wait till they get to
Yes.
you?
I'm
Okay.
going up to them. I also have a additional reach with my weapon.
Perfect. So you head over to the edge of the sphere because they have not entered into it yet. They're still like getting up and all that kind of stuff. And there's one like right in front of you. So go ahead and roll your dice pool for your
Now,
combat. Which
out of curiosity, in combat, can I attack multiple creatures, or is it only one at a time?
yeah. So you can attack multiple creatures. So this is like the scene of what you're doing in here. So your effect die will represent how well you take down these
wanna
creatures.
go,
Yeah.
I want to go for a cleaving motion to cleave as many as I can.
Okay.
I'm also on top of frenzy. I'm also going to trigger my hysteria.
Okay. Perfect.
So I will add a 1 step up of my sanity will go up for stress, but both of my strength and agility will go up to a 1d12.
Perfect. Jesus. 1d12. Okay. So go ahead and roll your dice pool, and then they will roll theirs, which this one is going to be a little bit more difficult, but they're not in consecrated ground yet. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, I rolled 2 1s, so that's 2 hitches,
Ooh.
and I rolled a 5, so that's a total of 6 for that dice.
17 with a d12 effect die.
D12 attack, right? All right. So we're gonna say that there are actually like 5 in front of you that are clambering out, and then with like Lubu sort of like swiftness and power, you kind of like swing your blade and then begin to slash into them, shattering quite a few of them. As the 12 that were around you now are reduced by 5, make it what, like 7, and yeah. So after you, it's gonna go ahead and go to whoever would like to act next. So feel free to um oh, Ronan, you're muted.
I'm gonna pull out my longbow and shoot one that he did not cleave in half.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
yeah. So okay, let's see here.
Oops. Oh, this one's way never mind. I got 2 ones again. All right, maybe I should switch out my dice. So I have an 8 and a 1, so that'll be a 9. So I have 2 hitches if you want to activate any of them. So with your plot points, you can choose to activate it to either make your result higher, or you can choose to reduce your anxiety down, step it down, or whatever you'd like to do.
Yeah, I want to use that to step down my anxiety.
Perfect. So that'll give me a plot point, and then that reduces your plot point by 1.
Sorry, hold on. I think that's everything. Oh, what's it says double die on the longbow, so it says 1d8 double dice. Is it 2d8?
So it'd be 2d8. Yep.
Okay, cool. I don't have any more d8 here, so I'll just roll one. I got a hitch.
You don't want to cast spells, Alatar? You don't want
to not yet. And I got 10. Yeah, I got
You got 10?
with
Okay.
the d8.
As an effect die?
Hitch. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that works. So no, I can't do that. Okay. So yeah, so you succeed, and with a d8 it's a pretty solid result. So we're going to say you like fire off 2 bolt or arrows, and it does hit 2 of the actual skeletons, reducing it from 7 to 5. And then we're going to have Yashislav. Did you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll pull out my boomerang. I'll say, "Boss, get down," and I'll chuck it. And I'm just going to kind of have it do the Thor thing from Infinity War, where it like spins around and it like hits everybody, and try to get a couple. Yeah, okay. Tries to get a couple as it goes. Oh, that's not good. I don't like that. I don't like that. That's a 4, but I got a hitch.
Okay. I'm gonna trigger to do my SFX. Do I need to spend a plot point?
Right. Yeah.
I will spend a plot point for tactician, where twice a day I can make any allies.
Oh, I can re-roll one. I can roll one of mine anyway. I forgot about this boomerang. If you want to do it too, then I can re-roll 2.
Well, I think it's re-roll. If I read it, it's the whole thing, not just one die.
That's not. Yeah, that's worse. That's 2 ones.
That works for me. All right. So I got a 9.
I had a 2 and I rolled a 1.
So what is your total?
My total is 4, but I got 2 ones.
All right, cool. So I got a 9. So I do have a heroic success against you. So I'm gonna spend a plot point to increase one of the my effect die from the size it is now to the next one, which will go from D8 to a D10. So what's gonna happen in this situation, as you're like, look out, boss, as you're throwing your boomerang, as it swings through the air, something kind of goes wrong, as like maybe it does hit, but not, it does do that much damage, as one of the skeletons from actually, oh, you know what, they're gonna run towards you, taking that consecrated ground. So that D10 is gonna reduce to a D8 again, and they're gonna go and essentially like swipe you across the chest, doing 1d8 of physical damage to you, physical stress.
And as he's doing that, I'm gonna like Yu-Gi-Oh style pull out a tarot card and do my Cosmic Guard, and that basically once a day reduces any creature's incoming stress by 1.
Okay, so now instead of taking a 1d8 physical stress, you're gonna go to a 1d6. And then after that, Griselda or Reyna, who would like to go?
So Reyna is gonna say, told you, be careful what you wish for. And then she's gonna go and reach for her chakram blade that's at her hip, and she's going to, while she sees that the one enemy is attacking
Yashislav?
Yaroslav,
Yeah.
she's going to basically use that to like basically sneak and take that one out while it's distracted.
Okay.
So she's basically using like her agility to move around and then sneaking to use her blade.
That works. Perfect. So go ahead and go for it. Because you and Yashislav are like essentially flanking this creature, you'll get an extra 1d6 for your dice pool.
Oh, perfect.
And they've got to roll as well.
Right.
Okay. So that's
Okay.
a 5.
Okay, so that's a 10.
Okay.
And I got a 3 for the effect die, which was a D8.
Okay, perfect. So you not only destroy this skeleton, but there's another one that's running up right behind you that you kind of like swipe around and then get as well. So
Yeah.
5 has gone down to 3 now. And then Griselda. There's 3 skeletons left.
So she pulls out her nunchucks and does like suddenly is like super spry after having been like super crotchety this whole time, is like whipping them around and just is gonna try to come up to one like and like wrap it back up around her arm and kind of trying to knock his head up off of his shoulders is what we're going to attempt.
Okay.
Cowabunga.
What the hell do I roll with this?
So you're gonna use we can say agility or strength.
Okay.
Probably
Yeah,
agility
it's
for an
Agility,
Nunchucka,
I
whichever.
think.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
use.
So then whatever your value is, so whatever you think it here, like duty to protect your friends, power to
Yeah.
showcase you're amazing, or whatever. Yeah. And then
It's Glory. She wants to look like a badass. Who am I kidding?
sure.
Okay.
And then whichever other assets, so probably fight for your skill would be the most prominent one, and then whichever other ones, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Jesus, her carpentry. She actually carves using her nunchucks.
Oh god, no.
Kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
Okay.
kidding. Good God.
I love how you got him to say no.
Exactly.
I know. That's
A
my
no.
best achievement of the day, actually, is that I got him to say no to something.
This one's gonna be rough, so.
Oh no.
Oh, sorry. I am supposed to announce it first. So you, this skeleton, seems to have been a reverse satyr skeleton, as it's huge and like has a very goat head that's
Baphomet.
winding, twisting. Exactly, yeah, and is huge and everything like that. That sort of approaches you, and it's gonna be a 16 result. For this one. Yeah, double 8s. That's what I got
Damn.
with the D8 for an effect die.
To be fair, you've only like won
Damn.
one roll so far, so you're
Yeah.
good.
It was against
Gotta
make it
me, so
count.
it's like,
yeah.
Well, and here I was super happy because it's a 10.
Now, if you want to, you can spend a plot point to add your 3 highest dice together instead of just the highest 2.
Wait,
If you
could we
feel-
assist if we see that she's going to be attacked?
If you have anything that can assist, then you can
Yeah.
like Cosmic Guard, for example, for Alatar. Like
So
when
if I
someone-
wanted to activate my special effects, which is basically having my 2 foxes, Tayo and Sutsuki, basically attack.
Yeah, so you could spend that plot point and then give her an additional d6 to roll for her dice pool,
Yeah.
if you'd like to do that. Yeah, otherwise it's up to you.
Yeah, I definitely like Reyna's basically after taking that one out, seeing that there's this large creature that's basically going after Grizzy. She's not gonna have that, and she's gonna be Tayo, Suki, go! And then basically they're gonna go and try to basically attack on either side,
Yeah.
to try to give her advantage.
Okay, so you're gonna get an extra 1d6 to your dice pool. So you go ahead and roll that, and then see what that results in.
It has to be a 6.
I'm hoping.
Is it a 6?
Yeah, so that's 16.
Yeah.
Okay,
By
perfect.
using one of my plot points
Okay,
Yeah,
to
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 add a
make
3.
so, and it goes down.
Hey, that's fine. That works. So what was your effect die?
It's a D6.
A D6. Okay, so you will just stop this creature. So with the aid of the foxes and also your nunchucks, as it's like a heated battle between you two, you come out the victor and take down this one. So there's only 3 left, I believe, for this. Yeah. So going back over to Essence.
So there's 3 left.
Yeah.
I want to like Madara bum rush all 3 of them.
Okay.
Like
Perfect.
I want to just assault all of them with the force of the mighty moon, and I will trigger frenzy, hysteria for this as well.
Okay.
I want to.
Makeup.
And they are in the consecrated ground, so one of them is going to be reduced to a D4, or sorry, D6. So, and they did get a hitch as well.
Got 1 hitch as well.
Okay. And I have no plot points, I don't believe. So my result was a 9.
I got a 15 with my highest effect die being a D12.
D12. Okay, Bert. So you're able to stop the remaining 3 as you shatter them with your sort of blade. Now around you, you can see that there are other skeletons that are being unburied by this haboob and everything. And your mounts are pretty scared as sort of well. Actually, were you guys on your mounts the entire time? Sorry, that would have given you another.
Probably hopped off to talk to the djinn, but
Okay.
Yeah.
A couple of us
Probably-
would have, but not all of us. So
Probably why my boomerang didn't hit.
So your hyenas are like tearing apart some of the skeletons and using them as chew toys, essentially. As yeah. So if you'd like to, you can go ahead and mount the actual hyenas to get out of here, or whatever you think is best. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Haboob is
Griselda's
passed,
already
right?
on hers and is like ready to go.
I just want to confirm that the haboob is gone.
Nope, it's still in effect currently. It's still raging, but there is a sphere right over Griselda for 30 feet around you guys.
Does it seem to move with her?
Yes, it does move with her.
okay, so-
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Put my
Then yeah.
Hey, real fast, Tui, when you cast all that stuff, like what happens to your stress again?
My sanity, I goes up a step.
So we're just like if I'm visualizing you and your sanity, where are you at right now?
Technically, I would be at a D10, but I have an ability that if I get a kill, I can heal stress.
Okay. So
I'm here to murder.
you're okay right now.
I'm good. I'm still mostly sane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly saying, okay.
Yeah, at this
Yeah,
this
I
point,
can kill
Griselda,
ads.
yeah. No, she is like, are
Like,
we
"Ah!"
going?
So
Like she's an eye sticking out of scarves with ears, and she's like,
at this moment, your bracelet, your newfound bracelet, looks great on you. By the way, very in season. Begins to glow and vibrate as the djinn appears on your mount, like right behind you, like gripping you. And she goes, "Wow, that was intense. Good job." And then and she goes, "So it'd probably be best to like try to head over to the palace, wherever you need to go. Do you have, or sorry, she doesn't know that. Do you have any sort of like shelter that you can go to or anything?"
See?
like in the
Shade.
storm or where we're heading.
I guess where you guys are heading, like, is it close by? Because this haboob is
it's-
pretty intense.
It's about a day or so. We're heading to meet up with someone.
And
Mm-mm.
she's like, all right, well, it's gonna be hard to navigate through this storm. So like, I mean, you could do it, but like, if you need my help, I'm here. Because please don't die. As more
And Raina
skeletons are kind of
turns around
rising.
and she's like,
Yeah, but if
Why
we
are
do
we
that,
asking?
then you might end up stuck out here in the desert for a bunch of bajillion years under a bunch of haboob. So I think we're gonna haul ass.
She's like, sounds good. As she like continues to sort of grip on you. So in order to navigate your way out of here, you do have the map here. There are still landmarks around, so it's not super crazy difficult. But you will have to make awareness and whatever other things to navigate your way through.
Who
this
has the
situation.
map? Is it Tui?
Tui?
Yes, it is. Yeah, Essence.
Yeah, and Essence is just like, so we're already riding, right?
Correct. You've all mounted and you're heading out. The hyenas are
So you-
confused.
Louis gonna ride up to Yaya and hand over the map, and then take hold of
Thank
my
you.
blade in one hand while riding the hyena and just kind of have the blade at ready.
Yeah,
Perfect.
awesome. Thank you, boss. I'm gonna just ride straight from now. I'll give you directions, and I guess, attempt. Would I?
Who's got good awareness?
Yeah. Well, I have good awareness. My problem is
Okay.
that some other skills that I have that I don't want to meta, other people might be better at. So I don't want to meta. But I
Realize
also,
can't
at
help
this
at
moment
all.
you are illiterate. Is you're like, just kidding.
I mean, no, my intelligence is high enough for that. I got
Yeah,
a
yeah.
D6 in intelligence. I can read.
I have a D4. What a word.
Yeah.
No, I can do it. Yeah, I can do it.
Just do it.
I
Go
think
for
it's,
it.
yeah,
It's
you
not
know what?
9 times, so
Boss
I'm useless.
entrusted
I'm
you.
gonna let you know what he put his trust in me, which is going to bring my truth. I'm gonna use my truth because he's being honest with me
Mhm.
and telling me that he trusts me. So
This
I'm
is
gonna
all
use
about
that.
rationalization and
with my-
justification.
Love this. I love
Listen,
this.
I mean, I'm
I
gonna use
love
my
this.
truth because it's a D8 and I need a D8. But I'll use awareness, truth. Can I use, since we're riding the
Hyenas?
hyenas? Yeah, can I use my swift?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna use my swift.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. We'll
no,
say.
that's heritage. I'm not I'm not riding a goblin, so I guess that. Yeah,
No,
you're
we,
right.
we can say I'll justify it because the faster you guys move, the less effect the storm has on this area. So
Okay.
the landmarks are still there and everything. So we can have that, yeah.
And then I'll use survive, which is unfortunately only D6, and then
And for any sort of oh yeah, survival would be good. Focus is also good. Whatever other ones you feel
focus?
would justify.
no,
yeah.
I have.
Oh,
I'm trying to
that
think what I
sounds
have.
wild.
Oh, notice. I have notice. That's a D6. I can use a D6 for that. And then trade skills. I don't have any. No, I have chef and medic. Those don't help. In criminal, yeah. So I'll just use those.
And you need to beat an 11.
Okay. I'm gonna use my out. No, that's to outwit others. I can't use that. I'm gonna use a plot point to reroll one.
Sure, go for it. And remember, you can use a plot point to
Hey!
include 3 results instead of just 2.
Oh, I could do that instead.
Mhm.
No, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. It's either a 16 or a 12. So I'll take the 16.
Sure.
A 16 with a D6 as the effect.
Sounds good. So you have a heroic success in this. So you dominate the situation as you look at the landmarks, you look at the map, you look at the area around you, which there's hindered visibility, but you can still see somewhat in front of you because you're riding at such a rate of speed that's allowing you to do so. So you know the way. You don't have time to explain how you know the way or anything like that, but you absolutely know the way. Do you simply just want to like head forward to be the guide, or do you want to communicate to your party members, or what do you want to do?
I'm gonna communicate and just yell. I'll be like tailing right behind, directly behind Yui's hyena, and just yelling, "Hey, that rock, take a left," or like, "Hey, that sand dune, take a right," or keep going straight, or whatever. I don't know how to navigate in sand, but I'm doing it.
Perfect. As you do a great job as you head all the way out. You're going as fast as possible. Do you guys trust him, or are you guys gonna question anything? Okay.
I
Perfect.
mean, Raina doesn't know anything about navigating.
Like, I'm a
like-
city
Choice at
girl.
this
Yeah.
point.
I mean, she has
Yui
street
swing-
sense, but this
Okay.
is not the streets right
Exactly.
now. This is the middle of the desert.
Yui has an IQ of blood
Yeah.
and steel.
Blood. Yep. So you're like, so you do a great job as you're guiding everyone out. Your mounts are moving faster than the actual storm at this point. And you breach the actual storm, you find the landmarks, and in the distance you do spot the actual, well, it's going to take another day to do it, so we're not going to say that, but no, sorry, in the distance you do spot the palace, but it's not near you. You still have to make your way over to it. Yeah, and of
We
course
find a shelter.
you do with that high heroic success, we're gonna say, yeah, Yaroslav does see a cave that looks pretty sturdy, out of the sort of way that could like potentially be serve as shelter. Also, your genie is still behind you, like gripping you, Griselda, and be like, by the way, my name is Liana, and if I could make your mounts faster, I could make them fly. I could
You
like
mean Liana?
it's like, I take offense to that. And then she like seems offended. Yeah.
Thing-
I'll consult with the boss beforehand, just to make sure. Essence, sir. Um, we could wish to make the mounts go faster if we wanted.
and Yashislav is guiding us towards the cave, right?
Yeah, he does
Yeah.
point out that there is a cave like in the distance that you guys could take shelter in. And
So
yeah,
while
so
I'm writing, I'm gonna put up the hand to like pause, point, cave, and then just kind of keep going to that. We'll talk about it when we get there.
All right, cool.
So you guys ride off to the cave as it's a pretty large mouth of this cave, as it seems to be about, let's say, 15 feet wide by 10 feet tall. As you're mounting, you go in there. It's pretty dark in here, but it's deep enough that kind of goes into the actual ground. As the you see the Habu finally reach the cave and it's just kind of like bellowing at this entrance. And yeah, you've sought shelter as the hyenas are like just completely tired and exhausted as they kind of lay down a little bit and are drooling and seem like they're pretty thirsty as well.
Food and water from our supplies for them, as Griselda's
Yep.
like, gotta take care of them. They're what's gonna get us there.
I guess technically
Unfortunately,
we could just wish to be there.
Leliana's like is
Mm-mm.
I'm
so,
gonna.
and you can definitely tell that Laliana is a jinn or a genie because her teeth are not straight like most mortal races, which is not mortal at all. Is but they're like very sharpened, kind of like carnivorous and everything. And she's seems very she does not look normal. As she goes, I could wish you there. I could make you fly. I could as she's like pacing back and forth. And as you're feeding and giving water to the mounts, the hyenas, they definitely like as you're like getting ready to their water and undoing it, they like lick you on the face. It's just like slobber. And yeah, as they take the water and they drink it.
Griselda is back to walking around all like crotchety, and
Okay, for
Mm. Uh-huh. Mm. Pointing, we're staying until the storm passes.
yeah, it makes sense. I gotcha.
That
What time of day is it? How long have we been doing this, roughly?
we're gonna say it's about like 2 p.m. ish right now.
How long do these storms last? Is that something Griselda would know?
Yes, so you, Reyna, would know, and then Alatar could learn because of his elemental, like, sensitivity and all that kind of stuff. So you know that they can last for 30 minutes to up to a couple hours and everything. So it really depends. But you're in a safe area, so it seems like all you have to do is sort of wait it out at this time. You do know that when it gets to nighttime, things get really cold really fast, and there are other like nocturnal creatures that do come out to feed and everything like that. So there could be different threats that are at nighttime if you choose to travel by night. And yeah.
There's no other like this is a closed cave, right? It's not like there's a back end. It's just like
You are unsure. There's a lot of darkness here, and it does go deeper into the ground, but you're not sure how deep unless you'd like to explore that sort of area.
We should probably know if there's going to be a threat come from behind.
Want me to sneak down there, boss? Do the scouty scout, or are you gonna do your thing?
and then Yui's gonna kind of head down that way through to check a little bit.
Okay. We're going to say that in your supplies, you do have like a torch and everything like that if you like to light it. If you're a magic user, which is Alatar, you can sort of like cast a general spell, which will be an easy check to see if you can like summon lights or, summon flame, whatever way you want visibility. Yeah. And I think Reyna's, and we'll say Reyna has like dark vision sort of thing when you're in fox form.
Do casting those types of spells cost me a plot point?
No, that one's like super, super simple. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, then that's what I'll do.
Okay, perfect. So go ahead and assemble your dice pool really quick And this is gonna be an easy one, so it's simply gonna be like 2d6.
And this is to do this would be like survival, I would say.
I'd say if you're using a torch, that would be no check. You just simply like do it. But if you're investigating the area, that would be a dice pool. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna use that. I realize I'm not good at anything that's not fighting.
That's what you
Can-
did.
You can roll
Can I-
those d4s. It's fine.
Can I use
Oh.
shot? Can I use my shot caller to kind of be like, hey, you three, or like Reyna and Elatar, will you guys go with boss and make sure he's all right?
Sure.
All
And you get a
right, I
1d6.
And give
There's
him all
nothing else to
1d6.
do. And then Raina's going to shapeshift and have Tayo and Suki follow and basically branch out to like go on. Like, so basically she's like following, but they're all like looking in different directions to scout it out.
That
is
works.
going to be a 16 with a effect die D10.
Okay.
And
Okay.
we're
Yeah.
using sneak, of course. Like we're like carefully doing that.
Trying to investigate. Okay.
Yeah.
Louis is
So
not.
to investigate, there is no immediate threat or anything, so it'll be 3d6. And what'd you roll for yours, Alatar?
I rolled an 8.
8. You succeed. So you're able to summon the lights, no problem at all.
What do you, just so everybody knows, it's basically, you know, there's like moon lamps that people have that looks like a moon, it lights up. That's what he summons.
I totally don't have one.
Of course you do. So that's what he
It's a
summons.
gift.
Perfect.
They're dope.
From
So-
your husband.
So for essence, I got a 4 and a hitch. So what happens is that you are able to investigate this area. It goes deeper into the ground and diverges into a kind of a crossroads underneath. It gets cooler the further you go down. And it seems as there's actual tunnels and caverns that actually go through here. What is your main intention? Just to see if there's any threats or just to notice anything in general?
Specifically threats. I want to see if I just want to see if there's any local threats or how far it might kind of go to determine how likely it will be snuck up on from this side.
You absolutely see footprints that seem to be one of sort of a bestial type of creature, and the other one seems to be some sort of humanoid that is on like 2 feet bipedal. Yeah. That
And
go.
with that roll, can I determine how fresh those prints might have been?
You got a heroic success, so yeah, we're gonna say that it seems to be been a while, so it might have been like a day or so, or like a couple days and everything, but yeah, they were the last things to make prints in this area.
Yeah, I'm gonna stab my sword into one of the footprints and like spin it just as a marker to whoever's with me, so they know what I found, and then walk back. And I'm gonna head back to the mouth of the cave from there.
So Raina's
Okay.
gonna have where she basically signals in her fox form. She's going to which in her fox form again, it's like basically abnormally large fox, basically that is the size of like Raina, but basically just like with this really bright orangish reddish coat, very
Yeah.
shiny with the 2 tails, and then she has her two foxes. One is like has kind of they're abnormal colors for foxes, because you have one that's like black,
Yeah.
and and then there's one that's like literally white, so it's like the
Oh,
two,
cool. Yeah.
so it's like sun and moon, so that kind of
Yeah.
idea of it, so light and dark. So they're basically going to where Yui just made that marker to
Yeah.
try to smell and try to get a sense for like the scent in order
Yeah.
to try to see what direction the
Sure. So
creatures went.
go ahead and assemble your dice pool, and then
Okay.
you're gonna get an extra d6 because of Essence's assistance and everything.
Okay.
And this shouldn't be too hard because wow, I got 2 hitches. Okay, and so
Okay,
that's a
and I got
7 you
one.
need to beat.
A
Alright.
7. Okay, so I got 10 and the effect die was a d8, and that was a 2 on
Mhm.
the die, but I did get one
Like
the
that? Okay.
hitches.
So yeah, so what's gonna happen is that you do succeed in this as you find that they seem to have gone to the leftmost sort of path. They do you want them to like sneak and investigate, or do you want them to just like was obtaining that information the only thing you wanted to do?
I'm gonna have them go ahead and like sneakily go investigate because they're like they do stuff for me, so then I don't have to necessarily put myself in harm's way.
Sure.
Which is kind of messed up. But yeah, they're basically like my little fox lackeys. Yeah, so
That
they're
works.
gonna go check.
Okay, so you won't have like line of sight from what they see, sort of thing.
Yeah, they'll just
S-
communicate with me because I understand what they're saying.
Yes. So what happens is that they will go and disappear for a little bit as you guys all kind of like wait there and sort of see what happens with these foxes that are kind of like investigating the area. And then after like 5 minutes, they one of them comes back and kind of communicates to you that it goes like there's about like 20 people over there, and they're all like moving and they seem to be like skeletons and all that. And but they seem to not have any anxiety whatsoever, and they seem super chill. Sorry, your fox has no anxiety and it seems super chill.
Okay. All right. So then Reina will change back into her normal form. Um yeah, so it seems like there's some more of those skeleton people off in that direction. So we might not want to go to the left.
And then we'll go closer to the mouth of the cave we entered, and we'll stab the sword into the ground there. This is where we stay.
Yaroslav?
While they were doing that, because the three of them, like Griselda and I, were kind of probably still in the mouth of the cave with the hyenas. I'm gonna pull out a small, like a tiny empty pouch, and then I'm gonna look into my bag for like where I have that sand. And there's sand everywhere already, but I'm
Yes.
gonna pull out that little bit of handful of sand and like put it on the ground in front of me, which makes no freaking sense, but whatever. And then I'm so Griselda, I had an idea because like remember when you did the thing with the sand and blew it in my face? What if we could put it in a pouch and we could throw the pouch at something and then it explodes and then
Yeah, pouch sand.
blinds a bunch of people like in an area. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think you can help me make something like that?
Yeah, you want to use this stuff over here. And she goes to like the edge of the cave where there's like really fine dust sand, so it's not as grainy as the outside. And she's like, yeah, you use this. See, watch.
My eyes, what the hell?
See, that stuff is finer and it gets in your nose.
And Liana will definitely be by your side and be like, do you want me to make him permanently blind? I could do that.
No,
All you have to do is
but-
wish for it. It's like
If you make me permanently blind, you might as well kill me.
This is a game I like to play.
That got dark.
she's like, ah, dang it. Okay, well, I could tell you what's down there. It's really like it's no problem at all. You could have all the knowledge of these caves. It goes.
Do you
really
want to stay
crazy.
in this cave forever?
No, as she kind of like kicks rocks and then just waits.
Liana thinks she's better than my foxes, I see.
DM, can I make a check to try with Griselda's help to put something together that would do that with using my crafting?
Absolutely, go for it. Yeah. So it'd probably be intelligence and whatever other things you think would be good, like glory if you want, like this is my creation, or power to be like nothing will stop us, sort of thing. Whatever you feel like is relevant.
I'm gonna use duty because I'm using I'm using the bonds of friendship and camaraderie, which is part of duty, I would think.
Okay. You need to beat a 9, and I have 1 hitch.
Okay, so I'm gonna do so those two, and then my crafting is also another d6, so I'll roll a third one, and then can I use? I can't justify criminal.
It's up to you because there's also if you could justify. Go over it.
Can I use medic? Using my knowledge of the human body to be able to figure out like if this dispersed at the right area, like within an area, it could hit all of these different people in the face.
Sure, that's fine.
Okay, so that's a 6 and a 6 and a 5.
In the meantime, Griselda will be carving a statue with her nunchucks.
That's a 12. 12 with a d6 effect.
12 d6. Okay, you're able to create the object that you were intending to create. So it's like a blast powder, essentially. not like explosives, but yeah. So we are at the end of the session. So what's going to happen at this point is that you're going to hear a bit of clattering as you do find that there is a skeletal type creature. Now this skeleton looks different from the one you fought. The ones you fought had purple with its eye sockets and swirling around its limbs and everything like that. This one has a light blue sort of thing in its eye sockets and has sugar skull sort of designs all across itself. As you hear it sort of like whistling as it stops and like turns to you guys and like freaks out a little bit as we're gonna like go ahead and end the session sort of there. And
They start singing "Remember Me."
yeah, there you go. Exactly. And then
Remember me.
yeah. So yeah. So this has been Emerald Templars. Thank you so much for watching. We're gonna go around the room and have everyone tell you where they can be found and what they're doing next and all that kind of stuff. Starting with the creator of Ekram, Logan.
Yeah, it's me. I'm great. Third time's the charm, right, guys? I'm Logan, also known as DM underscore screening, your friendly internet dungeon master, creator of the world of Ecrium and some other stuff within the world as well. I do some homebrew content with Dragonrock RPG. They help me build some of the subclasses for my world. But I'm also on September 14th launching the Ecrium Expeditions, featuring everybody down. Well, actually, around me. I'm on my screen. Everybody's below me. Yeah, Ecrium Expeditions, September 14th. All these amazing folks are going to be there. And yeah, that'll be the first time we're all meeting. If you haven't caught any of the prologues, they are on my YouTube channel. Links can be found on my Instagram, on my Twitter, my Twitch channel, or you can just look up DM underscore screening on YouTube and you should be able to find me. But yeah, thank you for having me, D'Angelo.
Absolutely. Thank you for being a guinea pig and playtesting this. So I'm excited to hear your feedback and everything. So going over to the creator of Deep Breath, Casual.
Oh, hey, what can I say? It's been Jay Casual. You can find me on all social media at Just2Casual and Casual Creativity on Twitch, variety streamer, content creator, all around entertainer, and as said, the creator of Deep Breath RPG, a 5e compatible anime experience where you get to live in the retrofuturistic high fantasy setting of Horiath, where dragons are equally a threat as androids, where wizards have spell books and hipsters have iPhones to cast spells as too, because that's the way we live. You can see me on Mondays and on the initiative order doing Vault with some amazing, wonderful people. You can also catch me on Tuesdays at Gilding Light for She is the Ancient, a gender bent curse of Strahd, which is currently still #2 on Dungeon Masters Guild, where you can get your own copy, where it's not just changing the genders, it's changing the narrative to break the gender norms, where you have an amazing chance to fight against racism, ableism, and sexism that Strahd once had for the She is the Ancient. I believe that's all I'm actually doing. There's other things coming up, but I'll be announcing those when we get closer, such as Deep Breaths getting closer and closer to being released. And you'll see me doing more Emerald Templar, especially because I'm going to try to run a game at some point. Cough, cough, manifestation.
Nice. And then the owner and operator of Umbral Oculus Dice, Valrook.
Well, hi, everybody. Taryn Hackett, also known as Valrook across the socials and known as the creator behind Umbral Oculus Dice. You can go check out my stock right now at kofi.com/UO_dice. I have links to my TeePublic where you can get UO merch because, of course, you want a t-shirt or a sticker or a bag and stuff.
They're
Do
really
it.
nice.
Put it on a pillow. I don't know. Whatever you're into. Do that. And then the stickers are pretty dope. I will have more dice coming up again. I do have dice in stock currently. Beyond that, I am a general TTRPG performer and a GM over at the Initiative Order every other Sunday for Far Realms, where I get to give my players mini existential crises every other Sunday. Particularly, Casual likes to have a meltdown at the end of every episode. Every Monday, I'm on Vault, the Fallout TTRPG, and then again, I will be joining Logan as a Hexblood Druid in the Ecrium Expeditions. That's gonna get hard after a while, but yes.
T for sure. T for sure.
Come sip tea with us. But yeah, those are all of the things I'm doing, and of course, I'm a proud sponsor of D'Angelo's of his Twitch stuffs and doing giveaways and things.
Yeah. What we Taryn and I talked about it, and one of the like higher tiers for the Kickstarter will be like a specialized like Emerald Templar dice, so that the max value is the actual Emerald Templar
By the
logo.
way, did you do the giveaway?
I did not. Thank you for letting me know. So put it ET, capital ET in chat. That way we can roll it and then see who the winner is. I'll like let everyone do their spiel, and then afterwards I'll go ahead and roll it. Then we can see who the amazing winner is, and yeah, so that'd be super super good. All right, and going over to the King of West Virginia, Mr. Ronan Fox.
That's right. I'm not Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Yeah. It's
Jared
Ronan
Leto
Fox.
playing not Jared Leto.
That's right. And you can find me at Ronan Fox on all the socials. It's FAWKS. I am a TTRPG performer, Twitch streamer, D&D content creator. I will also be in the aforementioned Ecrium Expeditions, and I am also in the Far Realms that Tara mentioned. You can catch me on that in TIO, and then Ecrium is on DM_screenings channel. And I'll be back next Saturday for this dude. That's me.
Yeah. All right, Vert. And then I just typed in chat, but I messed up. Because you guys please put ET in chat one more time. I'm so sorry about that. I had to like step away to anyways, going over to the greatest cosplayer ever known to the cosplay world, Utsuhime.
Okay, sorry, I had to make them shake the bells on my ears. Hi guys, I'm Utsuhime. You can find me at Utsuhime Cosplay on Facebook, Instagram, here on Twitch, where I occasionally stream a variety of different games, and Brianna DeCosta on Twitter, cosplayer and streamer, and TTRPG performer, doing various things. You can catch me on tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific time on the initiative order for Evermore Tales. We have our second to last episode, so definitely if you get a chance, if you haven't seen the episodes up till now, you still have time to catch up on YouTube on the initiative orders YouTube channel to check it out. And then not this Monday, but the following Monday, you can catch me on Vault, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, also in the initiative order. It's the Fallout themed TTRPG. And then, of course, Ecrium Expeditions on every other Tuesday, starting September 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. You can catch me there.
Thank you for saying the time so that we all neglected it. It's okay.
Yeah, I try to
promise.
remember, so then that way I can like get used to saying it, because I always forget. So I'm like, I need to start just incorporating that naturally, which is hard to do. But also too, I don't know if you guys know this, D'Angelo is actually going to be doing another series called Tayar, and that's going to be coming up soon. So definitely make sure to follow his socials, because he's going to be keeping you up to date with that. And that's going to
Yes.
be fun, because I get to bring back one of my favorite, my only actually bard / paladin. But yeah, like I get to bring her back, but now it's going to be kind of like a little prequel to her journey. So it's going to be more paladin based this time around. But I'm really excited to be bringing that character to that campaign as well.
Yeah. So congratulations, Logan, for winning the giveaway. So
Yeah.
if you have any sort of connection to Taryn or Valroot, please
No,
make
I
sure
have
to
no connection to her.
No.
Can you
Okay, okay,
please
yeah.
get me in contact? With
I'll
this
try to
Yeah,
get
Valroot?
message me. I'll connect you with
Yeah,
Disco. That'll connect
yeah.
you with Ronan. We'll connect you to Utsuhime. Then we'll get to Upper Lock.
maybe
Cool.
if,
Nice.
if
Maybe.
maybe yeah.
Awesome.
So
Cool.
so it is. So yes, my name is D'Angelo Murillo. This is my channel. I try to fight with all my heart and soul to bring more inclusivity and diversity to our geeky community, get indie performers paid, and all kind of stuff. Tonight was Emerald Templars, the first ever playtest for it, with these wonderful creators and who are going to give me feedback. And if you'd like to give me feedback, please go ahead and go in Discord to like let me know what your thoughts are and everything like that, because anything you can give me will help make this better. And when the Kickstarter goes live, ideally it'll be funded and immediate goal, and then a lot of awesome indie writers and creators will get their first ever published sort of like credit from Emerald Templars, and it'll just be an accumulation of like all these incredible like just melting pot of talent and everything. So it'll be super super cool. So the next playtest will be next Saturday, and that'll be conclusion of this like mini story and everything. And I am super excited. Thank you so much for watching. Yes, as Utsuhime has said, the first episode of TR will be later this month, which will be really really cool. It's fantasy politics and assassination attempts and all that sort of stuff. So it should be a different kind of version of D&D than we're kind of used to. So the whole murder hobos is so they get to be posh and bougie. So it should be really really good. So
Are you
I
gonna
will
wear
see
the
you
rainbow wig?
if people pay me to. They have to pay for that service. So, yeah. So hope you guys all have a wonderful night, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.